see a good smile on his face.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history.
George Sedano, Scott Kaplan. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Yeah, I don't think people like being called hacks.
You're the widow on the radio.
Giant Mexican, horn section. And
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
give me a freaking break.
To Art Bell.
Yeah.
Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, you want to woo-woo?
Bit Boy.
Right now.
Monstrous.
Beto, I don't want to eat that.
We did it, Dad. We did it.
You were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time.
So,
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
So, mongrels, stay tuned.
And it was cool to see a good smile on his face.
Bing, da-dum-bum. Yeah, come on. Boom, ba-dum-bum. It's Monday. Let's go. Bing, ba-dum-bum.
Good morning, 7:02 and 35 seconds. Welcome to the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on the Monday edition, August 17th, 2026. Bright and early, 7:02 in the Southland. And let me start here. I just got a text from one Steve Mason.
Corazon.
He says he is our one listener. Maybe there's more than just one. At least him and Juan are listening this morning in Barcelona.
Oh, really?
That's what he says.
Oh, very nice.
I wonder if
turn on the YouTube.
maybe they're in the middle of,
What?
Gazpacho.
Yeah.
That's what they're in the middle of, huh?
Well, if those two boys are smart, what's afternoon drive over there? Yeah, and they want to see some hot dudes like me and George. They should turn on the YouTube. And by the way, I'll throw Chrissy in there, and I'll throw in a little Briones in there. And we are looking good on a Monday morning.
Carlo is moving the camera up as we speak so you can see the hat. Good morning, great friends
Oh,
of the Great Friends Stables.
Hey, thanks for the shout out in there, Cappy.
I didn't remember Greg was on the show today.
Oh,
Bergie, I hadn't seen you on Bergie. I didn't see you on the camera yet. They hadn't put you on. Now, hey, Mason, Juan.
There you go.
Now there's 5 good-looking dudes, bro. Yeah. By the way, your beard's looking tight, hair's looking
Thanks,
solid.
Man. Yeah,
sharp.
Yeah.
Good-looking kid right there.
Miss you, buddy.
I miss you too. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to UCLA football practice tomorrow.
Bruins.
We are.
Love it.
We are. We're going. We're ending the show. I don't know. Well, we're not going to be on the YouTube hour, right? I don't know if there's going to be a YouTube hour, but yeah, tomormow we're going to go see Bob Chesney.
Jorge and I aren't going to continue it.
Oh, I'm just asking.
You don't want to do the Lindsay segment?
I'm good, dog.
To each other, that'd be funny, actually. Just 1 hour of the Lindsay segment. Yeah.
Lindsay back today.
Doesn't look to be the case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is not the case.
Are you coming? Let's get off that subject quickly. Are you getting? Are you coming up here for Black Crows tonight?
Okay, so real quick, George. I was supposed to go to see the Black Crows, one of my favorite bands, tonight at the Hollywood Bowl.
Hey, little.
Yes, that's exactly the song I planned on singing. Hard to Handle. That's exactly right. Man, what a weird weekend, though. Yesterday, we were packing up and getting ready for evacuations because there was a wildfire in the canyon right behind Rachel's house that was crazy and closer than ever before. So that was number one.
Right.
And then my daughter, who was up visiting friends last night, was calling me at midnight. Her flight was she got on the plane. She fell asleep before the plane took off. They woke her up. She thought she was home. They were still in San Francisco because they never took off. So I've had a hell of a day, and I think the Black Crows are going to have to do it without me tonight at the Hollywood Bowl, unfortunately.
Oh, well, there you have it.
Yeah, a little too much stress.
Are you passing the tickets on to Bergie?
I would love to. Berg, you want to go to the Black Crows tonight?
I would not like to go to the Black Crows tonight.
Oh. Well, it's Beto Duran's birthday. Happy birthday, Beto.
Happy birthday to Beto. Yes.
Maybe Beto would like the tickets tonight.
Yeah, maybe the Dodgers can give him a gift and actually get a win.
Well, they're playing in Colorado, so that's usually a good thing, you know.
No. That's not going to be a good thing.
No, not a good thing, huh?
No. I mean, the irony of the Dodgers losing yesterday, okay, to the Milwaukee Brewers, that's one thing, right? Because you could lose to the Milwaukee Brewers. But the irony of them losing to a kid who was not included in the package for Tarek Skubal, out-dueling Tarek Skubal at Dodger Stadium is I mean, if you weren't a Dodger fan, it would be absolutely hilarious. The rest of the country is definitely laughing at that.
Oh, the country is rooting for the Dodgers to fall flat on their face, and losing 3 out of 4 this weekend against Milwaukee in Dodger Stadium has America laughing. And by the way, you mentioned this young man. Was it the kid Henderson, the pitcher that you're talking about?
Do you know who he looks like?
Tell
me. You see what he looks like?
Yeah, but I didn't see anything where it stood out to me where I was like, oh, he looks like so-and-so. Who does
he
look
looks like to me
Yeah.
because of that mustache. Remember Parker Bell, our buddy who used to work here? When he had that mustache, looks like Parker Bell to me.
Yes, I'm familiar with that kid's work, Parker Bell. What happened to that guy? What happened to that young man? I don't know what happened to him. Guy left the station, and I never heard from him again.
I mean, he's on one of the group chats somewhere. I don't remember. I think
Yeah,
Ball
it's like
Knowers.
ball knowers. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, here's the thing about the Dodgers losing this weekend. And Berg, I know you'll talk about this, I'm sure. I'm sure you guys discussed it in the Blue Review. But I was looking at some numbers this morning. Do you guys realize that Kyle Tucker for this series was 0 for? I think he was unofficially.
Wait, he's 0 for like 22, or what is that, for the homestand?
I think, going back to
for his life doesn't really matter at this point.
But here's the thing. I mean,
for life.
You guys are making fun of him. I feel terrible for him.
I'm not making fun of him at all.
Because here's the thing. It's very clear that there is a mental thing going on at Dodger Stadium, because if you look at his numbers on the road, they're just fine.
No, he is Kyle Tucker on the road.
Mm-hmm.
He is not Kyle Tucker at home. Like he's a bad baseball player at home.
Right.
He's elite on the road.
Yeah. And listen, it's not about making fun of the guy at all, hardly. It's really about just looking at it as a business. It's a performance business. That's all. And the numbers tell you the story. That's the deal. That's what Andrew Friedman looked at when he went out and signed Kyle Tucker. Here's what he's accomplished in his career thus far. This is how we project his future to go based on what he's already done, past performances. So we're going to sign him to a $60 million a year contract, and we're going to expect to get what we've already seen. In fact, we think projecting-wise he's going to get better.
And by the way, we're lauded for the fact that they were able to get him at the price they got him for a short-term deal, because most people assumed he was going to want one of those crazy long deals.
By the way, just really quickly, look at the still photo right now in our YouTube. For those of you that are on radio and the app, you can't see it, but I want you to just look at the still photo really, really quickly as Kyle Tucker seems to be coming up to the plate. Look at Morales over his left shoulder. Look at Morales in the pink shirt right behind him.
It does look like Morales.
Why were you at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, Chris, I didn't know you got the sailor hat on.
That was at Wrigley Field, clearly.
Behind the one guy?
Yeah, look at you right there. Looks like you're wearing the sailor hat from Friday night from the Yachtly Crew concert. But, George, it's not to make fun. It's really just to point out that when you sign a guy for $60 million a year, you have an expectation that he's going to be really good.
Sure, no question.
And he, unfortunately, particularly at home, has been bad and seeming to get worse as he got benched this weekend. I mean, Dave Roberts was like, dude, sit down.
Do we have the audio?
Let's
hear Dave actually talk about it, because you're right, Saturday he did not play, and Dave was asked about that situation, and here's what Dave said pregame to that.
But Tucker, do you feel like he's kind of sort of fixated on some of these home road splits in a sense, where maybe he's pressing a little bit, especially here?
I don't know if I don't think he even realized it until recently, when I think people brought it to light. But the fact is, the splits are stark, home road. I don't think we have a reason behind it, but but I wouldn't say fixate on it, but it's certainly, now he's conscious of it, though. Yeah.
Do you have a theory why they're so different?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't.
What was it like for you, Dave, when you would go through those slumps?
I really didn't. Because I could butt my way on.
Mm-hmm. Dave, you said you can kind of see the frustration from Tucker at home. Obviously the splits are what they are, but are you seeing anything body language-wise, or has he said anything that kind of tells you it may be getting to him?
Yeah, I think, I think that just kind of, reactions to, at-bats, whether it's the first at-bat of a game and you're, really showing emotion, that's a tell from a guy who doesn't show a lot of emotion. So those things, as they build up, for me, that's tells me that you need a little, you need to watch a baseball game and kind of take some of that frustration, and put it to the side.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real mental situation now.
Totally.
This is no longer
No doubt.
just a physical thing.
Right.
Because he's clearly uncomfortable at Dodger Stadium. Like that. Yeah. And yesterday's performance is both an example of it and, unfortunately, not going to make things better, in my opinion.
No, when the media asked Dave, do you have a theory about it? He's probably not going to go on, in front of all these media members and say, yeah, here's my theory. He's a head case. On the road, he's comfortable, he's happy, there's no pressure. At home, he's dealing with the home crowd and the expectations and the $60 million contract and what we all expect from him, and he's trying to fit in. Look who he's trying to fit in with. He's trying to fit in with Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Max Muncy. He's trying to fit in amongst those guys, and the pressure that you must feel when you're getting paid more than all of those guys other than Ohtani. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're being paid more.
By the way, thank God you're not a shrink. I mean, you just called him a head case. I mean, good Lord.
Well, listen, let me explain what I mean by that, though.
No, I'm just saying that lack of empathy is hilarious.
Well, but that's what I'm saying to you, though, is that Dave did not say that.
Right.
Because instead of Dave coming out and saying to the media, he's a head case, we all know that we can see what's going on here. And by the way, being a head case sucks, George, because I've been a head case before. And when you all of a sudden start to feel pressure and you can't work your way out of it, and you would think that the Dodgers have every possible way to help a player get better, I would think that there's probably sports psychologists or shrinks or, whatever, to talk to him, to try and get him out of his own head. And that's just it, is that, unfortunately, that's the reality. I could say it a lot nicer, like, he's really scuffling at home because he's under a lot of pressure.
No, I know, but head case just...
it happens, man. It happens.
Sounds like something somebody would say in the 80s.
Well, well, give me at least the 90s, why don't you?
I mean, good Lord.
Man, so anyway, listen, he's not the only guy to blame, though. I mean, listen, I said to you guys last week, my favorite player on the team is Tommy Edman. I said Tommy Edman is the most versatile guy on the team. He might be the best overall player to play every position. I mean, Tommy Edman yesterday did not have his A game on two plays in particular.
And here's the bigger issue.
Defensively.
Okay. There is not a team that is – and look, I know some of this is just luck and variance and whatever, but there's not a team in baseball by a long shot, okay, that has grounded into more double plays than this team.
That's right.
By a wide margin.
I mean, on the positive side of that means they're getting guys on base.
Sure. But
yes, Bergie. Yes.
Yes.
Give us the positive. Yes.
Sunny side up.
I don't have a lot of positivity. I'm trying to find anything I can get. And by the way, Cappy, Tommy Edman is 8 for his last 61.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been good at all lately. And yesterday in particular, there was that play, and I want to say it was the second inning, where Mookie just tosses him a ball where he's covering second base and he can't handle it. And it was not a tough ball to handle. It wasn't a poor throw. It wasn't bad timing. Yes, there was a runner sliding towards second, but for Tommy Edman, that's a routine play. He should have made it.
Yeah, he should have, but I think he thought that Mookie was going to first. And
maybe.
Look, it was still Tommy's error, but that was him just not. He also had another error later in the game in the 8th inning to let them get up to 6-1.
Yeah, look, ultimately what I would say is this. And it's funny because I was listening. I was out in the car after the game was over, and I was listening to ESPN radio because they were getting ready for their Sunday night baseball broadcast. And I was listening to both Tim Kirkjian and Buster Olney on this broadcast, and their levels of concern 1 to 10. I think Buster's was a 3 and Kirkjian's was a 2.
Well, that's just it.
Despite all that,
right.
Despite all the – and it doesn't – I'll say this. It does not feel good right now. It does not feel like they are a team that can three-peat at the moment. It feels like the ground is shakier than it's been in a long time. Because even last year, they went through a little bit of a scuffle, let's call it. But this feels more prolonged and more pronounced. And it also feels like they also need more guys to be able to contribute that are not yet ready necessarily to contribute. So I think the ground feels shakier, but the guys who do this for a living still are not concerned.
I think that's pretty much the overwhelming opinion. is like, okay, wait a second, the Dodgers are coming back to earth. You're playing a team like Milwaukee, which has not been able to get over on a team like the Dodgers, but they win 3 out of 4 in L.A.
They now have the tiebreaker.
But they do what they do, right? I mean, they just slap the ball all over the field. They manufacture runs. They get runners on base, and they play an old school.
Yesterday they didn't really. I mean, yesterday they
hit a couple of home runs. Was it yesterday or was it
Saturday? They hit the 2 home runs.
Yeah. So
I mean, listen,
again,
you want to face Mizorowski
oh, dude,
in a long series or short series technically, but longer series than 2 out of 3. You're going to face him at least twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, that guy is the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, everything you see is like 102. I mean, man, he just throws heat. Jeez.
He started off the game going 104, 104, 103, 102, 104.
Yeah.
Like the guy he threw more pitches over 102 miles an hour than he threw under.
He's the opposite. Who's the opposite of him right now? Who was the best pitcher in baseball? Is Paul Skeens. So I was watching MLB Network yesterday, and I love watching them on Sundays. Sundays is their best show. And they were talking about Skeens' struggles, right, this season. And Paul Skeens, through last 2 seasons, okay, last season he threw 65% of his pitches were 98 or above, okay? The season before that, okay, the first time he won the Cy Young, 83% or above. The entire season, okay? Take a guess where he's at right now. Just a little side note. Take a guess what percentage of his pitches this season. I'll ask all of you. What percentage of his pitches this season are 98 miles per hour or above?
I'm going to take a guess that he's gone down by 20%. So I'm going to say 65.
Bergman.
I'm going to say it's more like 45.
Drink some water.
God, it was the first one.
I know, but it's not terrible, but it's
Briones.
It's right off the gate.
I would say 60%.
Christopher.
59%.
9.5%.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's really
bad.
That's he got pushed back 3 days, by the way.
That's a guy whose arm sounds dead.
Right. And his velocity is gone, like all of a sudden. Yeah. And, his arm angles are all over the place right now. He's like searching for something. But that's my point, is that, he was the best. He was unhittable for 2 years. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Mizorowski, but Mizorowski's even more dominant than he was in the 2 years that he won the Cy Young. Mm-hmm. So, this guy, having to face this guy a couple times. Now, this Henderson kid looks the part, too. They may not be able to hit like you want them to hit and slug like you want them to slug, but they can pitch like you need them to pitch.
And
that's for sure.
And they manufacture runs. It's been what they've done for years. They've done it with a budget that is tiny in
but they're
comparison
pitched better now.
To the Dodgers.
Now
right,
they're
they
better. They're better on the mound.
So when Mizorowski was in on Saturday, they actually had a chance to beat him in the 5th inning. They had the bases loaded with 1 out.
Sure,
and
you always have a chance to beat somebody.
They had
the Dodgers.
They had Shohei and Freddie coming up, and both of them struck out.
But here's the thing. Just real quick, last thing. So Dave said after the game yesterday about how much they wanted to win yesterday's game. They wanted to make sure they got that series tied. And if you're Milwaukee, you now have some confidence that you can actually beat these guys. Will it happen in the postseason? Not sure. But you've got the confidence. And for the Dodgers, you're starting to think to yourself, what's going on here? Something doesn't feel right. Something's not right.
7:20 in the morning on a Monday.
Good dismount, Cap.
You know what you could have done? Well, you could have dismounted with us and the GFS. Or you could have gone and seen Kawhi Leonard, a fake endorsement. We're still have that in there? That's my fault for reading it. I'm sorry. Or you could have gone to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a location near you.
I forgot that was even
No, it's okay.
in there.
It's fine.
That's all right.
I mean, we don't have a producer. What can you do?
It's gone now.
So's the producer.
Oh, come on.
I don't. By the way, Cappy, the Brewers were 6-0 against the Dodgers last year.
Yeah,
in the
isn't
regular
that
season.
interesting? Really?
They're 4-3 this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
They swept them last year in the regular season.
And
so
still
regular
got beat.
season,
But this is
versus
different.
postseason,
This is different
because they can pitch better.
They can pitch way better. This is not going to be a sweep in the playoffs.
No, well, I wouldn't think so. They also they should have won on Thursday. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
They should with the
that was when Edwin Diaz blew things up.
The Yamamoto start. They should have won that one. No, it was a Sasaki start. They should have won that. Edwin Diaz.
Friday
they won with Yamamoto.
Right.
They had a chance to beat Mizorowski. Mizorowski won that one fair and square. Sunday, they just looked like an absolute mess again. So they had the opportunity to at least split. They just couldn't get it done when they needed to. And that's what's been happening with this team for the last month.
And by the way, we're talking about Tucker, and we're kind of putting it on Tucker, and it's not his fault by himself. Okay, one player doesn't necessarily win a game in baseball, and one player doesn't necessarily lose a game in baseball. However, it's more. Like, for example, when you look at Tarek Skubal, like, we all expected a guy to show up and just be the 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
And he is not. He's been good. He's been good, but not great.
He you know what? But good for him is not good enough for the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like you expected him to come. You went out. You made this trade. Everybody, beat up on the Dodgers. There's what's wrong with baseball. They're going to create this work stoppage, etc. And Skubal has come in, and he's been less than what we've expected. So good, but not great. But he has not yet shown everybody in a Dodger uniform, as tight as those pants may be, he's not shown everybody why he was a 2-time, and in this case, a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner in Detroit. We haven't seen it yet. Fair or not fair? That we have not yet seen what we've expected from Skubal.
It's fair, and we can get more into that in Bergie's 3 Things. How about that?
I love that.
Oh, wow.
Big
Look
fan
at
of
that
Bergie's
tease.
3 Things.
Professionally done.
Big fan. Big fan. Really big fan.
And then we'll get into Ty Simpson later.
He looked good.
Bergie, Bergie thought, it was a wasted pick.
Really?
Still do.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Wow.
I thought you said that recently.
No,
he's
that was
been
from when
consistent.
he got Yep.
I mean, you got to admit, Saturday looked good.
Well, we'll admit it at 7:45.
Of course it did.
Let's admit it.
Bergie, drink some water. Oh,
Wow.
I got to do a read to start off on the week? Come on,
Yeah.
that's not fair.
On a Monday.
Hey, it's Chris Morales. That's me. Your heart works hard for you every day, and taking care of it should be a year-round priority. Our friends at Providence bring together some of the brightest minds in cardiac care, keeping you in the game with expert physicians, advanced treatments, and compassionate support right here in Southern California. Whether you're looking to be a little bit more active, a little healthier, eat healthier, know your numbers, or stay on top of routine screenings, small steps today can make a meaningful difference in your long-term heart health. Prevention is one of the best ways to protect that heart, sucker. And having the right care team by your side can make it all the better. That's why you need the friends at Providence. Your heart powers every moment that matters. Whether you're cheering from the stands, spending time with family, or enjoying an active lifestyle, Providence is committed to supporting healthier hearts in every community with personalized cardiac care and resources designed to help you live your healthiest life. Learn more and take the next step at providence.org/SoCalHeart. Providence.org/SoCalHeart. Bergie's 3 Things in 3 minutes. Then Rams football at 7:45. Evan Cohen on a Monday at 8:05. That's all ahead on your ride to work on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Monday, Jack.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
I'm John Ireland, and the cleaner way to cocktail is with Blue Ice Vodka. Gluten-free, no added sugar, only 64 calories an ounce. Find Blue Ice at Bristol Farms, Smart & Final, and Ralph's. Blue Ice, smooth, affordable, a better way to cocktail. Enjoy responsibly.
Buenos dias.
Not sure what to do this week? The answer is always Cosm. Here's your Cosm calendar for the week of August 17th. Still have a major case of soccer fever? Even though the World Cup is over, Cosm has the answer. Friday at noon, check out Premier League at Cosm as Arsenal takes on Coventry City. And on Saturday, in exciting Liga MX action, Querétaro hits the pitch versus Toluca in the first ever Spanish language broadcast at Cosm in shared reality. Feel like you've been transported pitch side, where every shot, save and goal. Save and goal is so close close, you could actually affect the play. Go to Cosm.com right now to lock in your seats for these and all the other big games coming up. And while you're there, don't forget your tickets to enjoy Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, The Matrix, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in the Dome on an 87-foot wraparound LED display where you're not just watching a movie, you're surrounded by it. The Cosm Hall is the ultimate sports bar with massive LED displays to watch all the games all at one time. Great food, amazing drink options. Visit Cosm.com and secure your tickets this week. That's your Cosm calendar.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Chris Canty here. Football season is back, and Lids has you covered. Just in time for kickoff. Want the latest headwear to rep your team at the tailgate, at the barbecue, or at the game? Shop the 47 brand NFL collection. Exclusively in store at your local Lids. This collection puts a new spin on retro NFL gear. Lids has every fan covered with all 32 teams, featuring the big-time hits and alternate team logos. You'll find the perfect fit for every Sunday. Selection may vary by store.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on.
We are such a bunch of weirdos that work at this radio station. Seriously.
Sedano and Kap have taken over Morning Drive. Back to the
two of them. I got to get the black sock and the white sock, so you can see the differentiation.
Right. And then
so
you go. And that's the Mason and
hand
Ireland
gestures. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, wait, real quick. Rick Moranis is for Sedano. Chris Taylor is for Bergie. Christopher Morales, you get a celebrity look-alike at all? Anybody ever tell you look like anybody?
Yeah, but I don't remember who. I think this came up a few years ago, so whatever.
Briones, anything? You got nothing?
Nah, nothing, man.
No? I get Gary Sinise. Do I look like Gary Sinise?
Oh, yeah, you do look like
do that. Really?
There's no question. You know
Really?
what it is? You guys have the same, like, when you squint, you do, you look, if you squint, you look like Sinise.
Well,
you're a Sinise squinter.
What was the name of the guy in the Uncle Dan band or the Sergeant Dan band, the Lieutenant Dan band?
I just said it, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, there it is. There it is. Thank you.
So anyway, Bergie, before we get to your three things, and I'm genuinely curious to see what you think about this. I mentioned that I was listening to ESPN Radio, and Olney and Kirkchin were on there, and their concern level was a 2 or a 3. Where's your concern level as the host of the Blue Review, where you can listen each and every morning leading into this show on YouTube?
I am very much with them. I think it's like a 3 or a 4. Because this is a rough stretch. They went through a rough stretch right around this exact same time last year. They have been swept in season series against the Brewers. They were swept by the Angels last year. These things happen. It's like you love to say, it's baseball. They're just going through it right now. This has been a prolonged one. This one's been over a month. But when all is said and done and it gets to the postseason, they will have the best starting pitching. You have guys that have been there and done that before over and over again, and I feel like and your pitching staff is very deep, so you don't have to worry about the bullpen as much. So I don't have that much concern.
I think most people agree with you. In fact, this past weekend, I was, obviously home down in San Diego. Lots of Padre fans around me, and they all are like, yes, here come the Padres. And they're like, yeah, the Dodgers are going down. But then they're all like, but don't worry, the playoffs will come around. The Padres will fail, and the Dodgers will succeed, and the Dodgers will go on and win their 3rd straight World Series. That's what I fully expect, regardless of what kind of stretch they're going through right now.
Right. The music is cueing us off like a vaudevillian cane.
Yeah.
Well, Jorge was ready to move on, I guess. The Blue Review, each weekday at 6:30 a.m. with Marcus Grant and Gregory Arthur Bergman, presented by LAX. Then Berger gets on here and does his 3 things around this time each weekday, thanks to Blue Ice Vodka.
Thanks to Blue Ice Vodka, made from Idaho potatoes and pristine Teton water for a smoother, creamier, cleaner cocktail with no sugar and just 64 calories per ounce. Look for Blue Ice wherever you shop for spirits. Blue Ice Vodka, pure as the Tetons.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is not concerned for where they're going to be, Sedano. It's more frustrated. I'm just frustrated watching them game in and game out because they are such a better team, and they're better. So how they are attacking pitches offensively, their approach at the plate, what's happening in the field, the defensive mistakes, the base running mistakes, those are all things that is not typical Dodger baseball of the last few years. So that's frustrating. But we want to talk about Tarek Skubal. So you're right, Cappy. This has not been Tarek Skubal of Detroit. He is not at that yet. So yesterday, it very well could have gotten much more out of hand. He was over 50 pitches in the 3rd inning. There was a ball to Jackson Churio in the 1st inning that was about a foot or 2 left of the foul pole. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-0 game right off the bat. But he was good enough to mitigate all those all the mistakes. Tommy Edman had the mistake at second base, and that's why a run scored. Otherwise, they would have gotten out of it, and we'd be sitting here talking about this is what the Brewers do in moments like this, that they have bases loaded and nothing comes through because they're not a slugging team. But he's not who he is yet. He will get there, and I really liked how he ended the game. He went over 100 pitches for the first time this year. 109 pitches was the most of his career, and he struck out the side in that 6th inning. Hopefully that gets him into the point like, okay, I'm back to who I am now.
See, the other thing about Skubal is we talked a lot about Tucker and not being comfortable at Dodger Stadium. Listen, you can be a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. You could be the most coveted guy at the trade deadline. But when you go to another team in another city, in another clubhouse with new teammates in new uniform, and you're living in a hotel and your life has been turned upside down, we all just look at it like, well, who cares, man? Get out there and pitch. Do what you do. Do what you did in Detroit. It's just not that easy. So I'm going to give Skubal a little bit of time because when we compare him to what Blake Snell did last week and the 10 strikeouts in his first game back, Blake Snell is very comfortable. Blake Snell has his own place. He sleeps in his own bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already comfortable a year and a half into his Dodger career. I'm going to give Skubal a little bit more time under the expectation that he will get back to Cy Young Award-winning Skubal before this whole thing is said and done.
But I think the biggest thing is they're also not hitting when he's pitching.
Yeah. I mean, this happens with a lot of Yamamoto last year had the worst run support in all of baseball. There's always that guy that doesn't get run support. Just unfortunately, right now they're in the middle of getting no runs at all. They're averaging less than 3 runs a game. This has been bad for quite some time, and this is part of it. So Doc is concerned. So let's go to the second thing. Doc is actually concerned, and he's talking, maybe not concerned for the postseason, but concerned about what's going on right now. After losing 3 of 4, just want you to listen to this. This is what Doc had to say after the game.
This has been, 4, 5, 6 weeks of, below average production from our offense. It's the truth. And I just think that we just haven't played clean baseball. for quite some time, and that speaks to the defense and, not converting it out to then, our pitcher potentially could cost our starter an inning, which it has. So those things, that's just not winning baseball. And so, our pedigree, what we typically do is, control the zone, grind it bats, create stress. We're not doing that.
This is the first time in this whole 10 years or 11 years of Doc managing this team that I've heard this level of annoyance, I guess, of what's going on out on the field. He's always very calm. He's actually calling out guys now and talking about the defensive issues. They're talking about the plate issues. You can tell that Doc is trying to light a fire under them a little bit to get them to understand how to get some runs
there's
across.
Complacency that sets in because you've won two, you've had these moments before, and he senses. See, it's why I get it. What Kirkjian and Olney think, and and you think as well. But I would venture to say he doesn't believe that. I don't think he's as confident as you are, as they are. And I think because of this is very out of character for him, to your point. And I think Cappy knows him as well as anyone. And maybe you could kind of weigh in on your thoughts here. But I think him actually utilizing these kinds of, let's call them tactics, to me, that says that this thing could be a little more challenging than I think others think.
Well, I think you're right that most of us on the outside, and whether you're a baseball analyst at ESPN or you're just like us and you're watching every game, most of us on the outside just have this expectation. Before it's all said and done, the Dodgers will get it back together. You use the word complacency. I said to you guys at the very beginning of the season, this is going to be a very frustrating year for the Dodgers. And for the most part, I've been proven wrong. It really hasn't been a frustrating year because they were in total control of things until about 5 weeks ago. All of a sudden, they've come back to earth. There was that 7-game losing streak in the middle of all of this. And you're like, you know what? Things just don't seem as right as they used to. So for us, we all have this outside expectation of, oh, don't worry about it. They're going to get it together before the playoffs start or in the playoffs. But internally, they're probably looking around going, that guy out in right field isn't performing. The guy that's coming out of the bullpen to close games isn't performing. And the guy that we just went out and got because he was the most coveted starting pitcher, he also has not yet given us what we expected out of him. So maybe, and you guys know I'm a big fan of chemistry, clubhouse chemistry, something could be disrupted for some reason. Maybe it's an addition of this guy or that guy. Or maybe it's people looking at a guy going, you're not giving us what you're supposed to be paid for. Dave is saying these things now publicly. And I think everybody in that clubhouse knows where they stand with him. They know how honest he is, how transparent he is, and now he's giving it to you publicly.
And I'm glad he's doing it. This is all things that we've been saying on here, Cappy and Sedano. We've been talking about it over and over again. The base running mistakes, the defensive errors, the bad play in the outfield, the bullpen issues, the starting pitching issues, the hitting issue, hitting into double plays. Like you mentioned earlier, Sedano, they are the worst team in baseball by a pretty large margin at hitting into double plays. These are all things that have been happening, and it's frustrating. But at the same time, you trust them because they've been doing this for such a long time that they can figure themselves out, and they're professionals that can get past all of this.
Yep, I think you're right, Bergie. I think when you think to yourself, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, I'll throw obviously Ohtani, who I think will eventually come back and pitch, and that'll help as well. I just think that you look at the guys on this roster that have been your core of the last 2 World Series, and you go, this professional group is going to get it figured out. You use a great word, George, complacency. You can't help it sometimes. I said frustrating because the whole season was playing for a World Series. You got to get through 162 before you can even compete for the World Series. So at some point there is going to be a mental lull where guys fall asleep, and this is the result.
Yep.
Okay, but what I would say is not complacent is the bullpen. The bullpen is just volatile in general. Like you could get high of highs, low of lows, and we've seen that through their tenure here. With their recent success. And I know we'll get to Bergie's third thing because I have plenty of thoughts on this bullpen. Go ahead.
So you're right. The bullpen has been a problem. Besides Tanner Scott, there's not one guy in that bullpen that you can go, I trust him.
So real quick, in the last 31 games, so not a small sample size in Major League Baseball, okay? A 4.66 ERA for the bullpen.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Well, so one of the guys that is the best that we trust Alex Vesia complicitly, right? He has been
terrible.
So since June 17th in 19 innings pitched, he's given up 13 hits and 17 walks. The guy has been a mess. But it's not just him. It's Diaz. Edgardo Henriquez has been up and down. Jack Dreyer has been good, but he's also prone to the long ball. You don't have a guy that you put out there and you say, okay, that's the guy. He's gonna get through it. Because even if you do go Tanner Scott, who has been very good, and you put him in the 9th instead of Diaz and give him some time off, who are you putting in the 7th and 8th inning?
Right. That's the big question to me. Now, I remember we talked about this a long time ago, maybe going back to last season. Dave Roberts has a quote-unquote trust tree, right, for his bullpen. So I would imagine that tree has been trimmed. If I had
the
to
bushes
guess.
a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, belief bush is what we suggested Mason and Ireland do because we have our own trust tree here now. So maybe they've also trimmed their belief bush in the
Mason and Ireland trim their bush.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, you'd have to ask Mason while he's in Barcelona.
I can text him. He just texted me now. I'll text him again.
Ask him. Let us know.
Ask him, did you trim your bush?
No, I think he once told me he's waxed. I'm no joke.
No, I meant the bullpen bush.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, regardless, you got to clean up the mess. That's the bottom line, regardless of which bush you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just been bad, right? And look, the Edwin Diaz stuff, I mean, the guy had surgery. I mean, you know what I mean? In the beginning, not that long ago.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a battle. Like, it was elbow surgery, okay? This wasn't like knee surgery. Or,
but same that Snell had and same that Scooble had.
Right.
So
different.
But this team has also won the World Series in a variety of ways. 2 years ago in 2024, it was because of the bullpen. Like Blake Trinan was the reason that they won. This last year, the bullpen was a complete disaster where they couldn't actually play anybody. Tanner Scott didn't even make
that's
it.
why they put Sasaki in the bullpen.
But with Sasaki in the bullpen, they were using other pitchers as the bullpen, and I think they can kind of mix and match with that when it gets to the playoffs. Where I know Robleski's on the IL, but they're saying it's just basically a phantom IL, just give him a little bit of time off because he's over his innings that he's at career high. So they're going to use him in the bullpen. They're going to use starters back there again. Like, because if Shohei does start pitching again, you have 5 starters, and they can't all start games.
I think Dreyer's done okay. He's actually been good in high leverage situations.
Little home run prone. That's his.
Yeah, but he's still his whip is under 1.
Yeah, no, he's been good
in that same span that the entire bullpen has nearly a 5 ERA.
Yeah, it's basically him, Tanner Scott, Edgardo Henriquez kind of has been good-ish. It just it goes game by game. They don't have a lot of guys that they can go to right now. And if you want to fix your bullpen, where do you think you should go? Coors Field? Coors Field would be a great place to go.
Not a great place to go.
Not the best place for your bullpen, and that's where they're going to be for the next 3 days, which is, I hate that ballpark so much.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you know what? The way to fix that, Bergie, is just outslug, outscore, out-hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Out-homer.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to have to play offensive baseball in this kind of
Well,
a
and
series.
Kyle Tucker will be Kyle Tucker again. He's on the road.
Right.
So
yeah, he's going to go look like his regular self.
All right. Those are Bergie's 3 things. Coming up next, we'll get into the Rams preseason game and Ty Simpson. But first, let me tell you about our good friends at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. I know there's that wood in the studio at the moment, the hickory smoke, maybe some tickly walnut over there as well. You never know what kind of wood you got over there this morning. But SoCal, summer's almost over. You can still fire up the grill, despite the fact the kids are going back to school already. Listen, we did that this past Friday, actually, or Saturday, actually. We did that. We fired up the grill. Kids are back in school. Nonetheless, the weekends are still yours, and everyone's done posting those vacation photos. Meanwhile, you're still looking at those same old floors? What are you waiting for? Come on, man. It's time to make an upgrade here. Head over to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where they've got millions, I repeat, millions of in-stock options of hardwood, laminate, tile, waterproof vinyl, carpet, and even the turf for the outdoor like we got over here, thanks to Hernandez. And unlike those stores running seasonal blowout sales every other weekend, well, Hernandez gives you true wholesale pricing all year long, Jack. That's right. No waiting, no gimmicks, no wondering if next week's sale is going to be better. Just incredible selection and wholesale pricing from a family-owned business that's been serving Southern California for 3 generations. Yeah, Papi Hernandez started this thing 57 years ago, bro. First responders, military, veterans get extra savings, okay? And any of you out there, if you find a lower price somewhere else, you call Hernandez at 866-62-FLOOR. They'll match it, no questions asked. So before your next barbecue party, family get-together, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Visit the showroom next to the Commerce Casino off the 5 freeway or online at HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. That's HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. No games, no gimmicks, because no sale beats wholesale.
Did you ever get down on that turf?
Use your imagination.
Oh, beautiful. 746, the Sedano and Kap Morning Show. On a Monday when we return in 3 minutes, we'll talk Rams preseason football and Ty Simpson. Evan Cohen joins us at 8:05, a special Monday edition with Evco. That's next on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
You want to talk about a winning locker room? Rotolo Chevrolet is stacked.
That's the goal, Travis. Build a team that shows up every day ready to win for the customer.
And you trust them to do it.
100%. When your people know you've got their back, they take care of everything else.
That's why people like me keep coming back. It's not just buying a car, it's an experience.
Exactly. Great people, great culture, and we make every customer drive away happy. Come see us in Fontana off the 210 freeway at Sierra or online at rotolochevy.com.
The Hard Rock Hotline on ESPN LA. Brought to you, of course, by Hard Rock Casino Tajon.
Experience gaming, dining, and live entertainment at the easiest drive from downtown LA. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Vista Paint is California's original paint company and has been serving pros and homeowners since 1956. Our paints are formulated for lasting performance, beautiful finishes, and made to withstand the weather. Vista Paint, locally made, expertly crafted, always reliable.
It's baseball.
Exactly right, Dave. 7:48 in the morning. Need more Lakers talk in your life? The ball knower extreme duo of Mike Trudell and Geeter McGee are back tonight at 6 p.m.
ESPN LA.
That's right, Geeter. 7:10 a.m. in the all-new ESPN LA app. Get ready for a full schedule breakdown by Trudell. Ooh, that sounds sexy. 6 p.m. tonight. Lakers talk only on ESPN LA. We're back on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show 1 minute from right now.
Hot damn! Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. The hard iced tea taste you know and love, but with an 8% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and brings your daytime drinking to the next level. Just look for the bright yellow cans in the cooler and get ready to dial up the fun. Big flavor, extreme kick. Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted!
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. New episodes available now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Mornings on ESPN LA will never be the same.
Quack, 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 quack. I get parents telling me all the time that the kids in the car love the quack.
They're now into the quack, quack.
Listen, I am a role model for the youth of America.
Oh, we know that.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on. Back to Sedano and Kap.
Even when my boots.
7:49. Good morning. Now on the YouTube.
Yeah.
George Sedano and Rick Moranis.
Side by
Feed
side.
me, Seymour.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, a lot of people in the YouTube chat were saying I look like Levitard, which I take as a great compliment.
Not bad. It's pretty good call.
On this day in 2002, the #1 hit, Nelly featuring Kelly Rowland, Dilemma.
Come on.
Yeah. Today is also National I Love My Feet Day.
I will say,
Oh, boy,
I
here
do
we
love
go,
my
Kevin.
left foot. I love my left foot. I
Yeah,
could
the
model
right
my
foot
left
is the one that's gross.
The right foot, the big toenail on the right foot is just disgusting.
I got a messed up right foot, too. I get you.
Yeah. started to get one of those little kits that you use for nails, like with the filing thing and the little scissors and the cuticles and stuff, whatever.
Yep.
Now I can really pick at my right toenail.
Come on. All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
come on.
gross.
Why don't you just get, Sedano, and we'll get to Rams in just a moment, but Friday, obviously, Stephanie and I went down to spend the whole day at Del Mar with Cappy. His horse won twice, by the way.
Two different
wins.
horses.
Two different
I was
horses.
just going to say, I don't believe horses race twice, but,
I don't know. I don't know much about horses except the Schwans. But then just, again, Cappy's lifestyle down there, the people we have dinner with, these powerful people, it's amazing. And the fact that you're such a goofball on this show, I don't want to say it's an act. I think the act is with these rich people. That you just
yeah, I agree.
Cappy
I
puts
agree.
on this. He comes downstairs as we're getting ready to leave for the track, and Stephanie and I go. It's like a different guy came downstairs. He's got a Rolex on. It's like he changed into Bruce Wayne costume. It's incredible.
Right, we get the real Cappy,
Right.
and they get the phony one.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
because he needs their money.
I want their money too.
It's so funny because we're having dinner. Well, let's get to the Rams. We're having dinner, George, on Friday night, and Stephanie is sitting there, and she says to the gentleman sitting next to her, how much she loves his flip flops. She goes, I had the exact same pair, and I said, well, Stephanie, you probably don't know this, but Jeff here was the founder of the company Sanook.
It's amazing.
Those are his shoes, and she's like, wait, Sanook, I love Sanook. And I'm like, yeah, that's him. He's the guy, and she was then really into it. So. Yeah, it's a fun crew down here.
Cappy
Chris, you fit right in.
hobnobs down there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, completely.
Yep.
Completely.
We'll tell you more about it. We'll tell you more about it later. It was a great night.
But it was also great for Ty Simpson making his debut and sticking it to people like Bergie.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, it is the first preseason game.
Right.
However,
Thank you.
No, it's true.
But he's clearly better than Stetson Bennett.
Well, listen, here's the thing about Stetson Bennett, and I'm not here to defend the kid. I'm just here to tell you that this is what McVay likes. Stetson Bennett, and I said this to you, watching him practice, Stetson Bennett does not have a big arm. He throws a very slow football.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson throws a very fast, very direct on a line.
Oh my God, he's got
football.
a powerful arm. There's
very
no doubt
powerful.
about that. Yeah.
Stetson Bennett got very lucky on the second drive of the game. By the way, I'm the guy who says I don't watch preseason football, and I couldn't help myself this weekend. Football, So Stetson Bennett got very lucky on the second drive in the first quarter. It was a scoring drive. It was about 7 minutes long. It ended in a field goal, short field goal. But Bennett threw a ball, George, towards the corner of the end zone that was so severely underthrown. And when you don't have a strong arm, you better put the ball accurately where it belongs so that a DB can't get his hands on it. Stetson Bennett was very lucky that the pass that I'm speaking of on 3rd and goal was not intercepted. On the other hand, Ty Simpson, and again, Bergie, I know what you're going to say. It's game 1 of the preseason. But when you're in an NFL preseason game, your first ever as a pro, and you go 21 of 25 for $190 and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, I don't care if it's preseason game 1 or if it's the last game of the regular season and it's garbage time. That's damn impressive.
Yeah, that was good.
And what I would say this Bergie is he was incredibly efficient, very accurate, and he made it look easy.
Yeah, he looked good. He was really happy that he did. It was.
Are you though?
No, that's fine. I think that it's a waste of a pick. If it turns out I'm wrong, cool. I'm wrong about a lot of things, but it's the first game of the preseason. It was not Sean McVay making the calls. There was not the number 1 offense. That was not the number 1 offensive line. That was not anything that wasn't what you would normally see.
But you would say, but if that thing would have gone disastrous, you would have been all over it.
No, I don't think so. It still would have been the first game. It still would have been the first game of preseason that he still would not be comfortable. I wouldn't have gone any way one way or the other because you can't. It's the first game of the preseason with not. It was how he played was impressive.
Yes, there's no doubt.
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
And Stetson Bennett, listen, this is not a knock one guy and build up another guy. Stetson Bennett was fine. He's 4 of 6.
He looked better than Mendoza.
He made a couple of nice plays along the way.
Wait. Answer that. Did he not look better than Mendoza? And they both played against
Tyson?
similar competition.
You talking about Simpson?
Yes.
So,
yeah, Simpson looked like, of all the quarterbacks in the rookie class from this past year that played this past weekend, Ty Simpson far and away had the best stats. And if you watched any of these other guys play, and I haven't done a full deep dive, but he was by far and away the most impressive rookie quarterback of the weekend. No doubt.
Agreed.
Yeah. No,
Totally fine.
No doubt.
Like for Mendoza, all I wanted to see from him was that could he be competent out there, and he looked good. I wouldn't say that it means anything for what he's going to look like in the regular season. It, again, was preseason game 1. So I'm not going to compare the two of them and say, oh, this one was better than that one. Now you're going to be bad and you're going to be good. It just is they both played well. And Simpson was better.
Ty Simpson looked
I don't
great.
think it was very close. I think he was the best quarterback by a long shot this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other rookie quarterbacks, Mendoza's one of them. The kid Carson Beck now with Arizona, who was okay.
Drew Aller looked good.
Drew Aller played well for the Steelers, had a couple of touchdown passes. Yeah, he looked pretty good. But nobody had the efficiency and played with the sort of confidence, or so it looked like, that Ty Simpson did. So to his credit, and by the way, to the credit of the Rams for drafting him and saying, hey, he's going to be a developmental player. Well, he might be. I don't know. We're going to see how the rest of the preseason plays out. He might go into the season as the number 2, and he might earn that. Even though, George, going out and watching practice, I would say this. If there were 100 reps taken in practice, I'd say Matthew Stafford probably took 50 of them. I'd say that Stetson Bennett probably took 40 of them. And I would say that Ty Simpson wasn't left with very many reps in practice, and yet he went out there and performed in that way. So that kind of tells you that here's a guy who waited his time at Alabama. So he was a great teammate to the guys who played before him. He'll be a great teammate to Matthew Stafford, obviously, and to Stetson Bennett if he finds himself in the 3rd position. But here's a guy who waited his time and then played at the highest level of college football. And while Alabama may not have won the national championship, he played at the highest level there is of college football, and he looked that on Saturday.
Yeah, he was the thing that I thought was most impressive when I watched the game was just how calm he looked. He wasn't sped up. His feet weren't sped up. He was executing. I mean, there was even that screen pass that he threw to begin. One of the first passes he threw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's under duress. Guy's in his face. He's rolling to his right. He's able to fling his arm across his body. Perfectly placed ball in the running back's hands, like perfect placement, and gives the running back an opportunity to scoot up the field and pick up big yardage. Like, even something as subtle as that's not an easy thing to do necessarily, throwing across your body, off your back foot, with a defender in your face, rushing, down the barrel basically at that point. And you're able to throw the pass perfectly to give the running back an opportunity. Even a simple play like that is not so simple for someone who hasn't played at that level.
Yeah, the best part of it all, though, is that Ty Simpson is not counted on right now to do anything. There is time for Ty Simpson to sit and develop, and hopefully Matthew Stafford stays healthy all season, and we really don't need to see Ty Simpson other than in cleaning up a mess at the end of a game.
And you know what's going to help Ty Simpson in McVay's offense is that they play action a ton, and because he's got a strong arm, because he's got good footwork, the ability to play action, which they did not do a lot of in Kalen DeBoer's offense at Alabama, they just don't. Because they're in the shotgun all the time. And even in the shotgun, I know you can play action, but they just don't do it a lot. He looked so comfortable out there. I was blown away. Like, I was just like, look, you go in there trying to nitpick the kid, and you're like, oh no, he's ready to go. Like, this is not a big moment for him. Like,
but it's
he's
also,
fine. He's incredibly comfortable.
The kid of a coach, and a kid who's got, all the grounding of Christianity. Like he's just not like some immature little kid who showed up. He's a coach's kid. He's deeply religious. He's respectful. And he's a great teammate, and that was evidenced by how long he had to wait at Alabama. But, George, I don't usually watch preseason, and yet I got some other notes I'd like to talk about.
Oh, look at that. Other notes.
Couldn't help myself.
Other notes. The guy who doesn't watch preseason is watching preseason.
I could
not.
not
Do you have a
help
cap
myself.
10 for the preseason?
Not so much a cap 10, but I got some other thoughts and some of the other things that I saw in this Rams' first preseason game.
Okay, great. Well, we have Evan Cohen coming up. Do you want to discuss some of that with him, maybe?
Yeah, or this might be too obscure for Ev.
Oh, so just you and me later?
You and me a little bit later.
For the obscure segment.
Well, it's just about guys who are probably not going to be on this team who actually performed. And I watched the preseason because the undrafted free agent in me can't help but not watch. You know what I'm saying? I have to watch these guys.
Week 2 of the preseason happens this Saturday at SoFi as the Rams host the Saints. And guess who's going to be on the call?
Oh, me. This weekend.
George
That's
Sedano.
right. I should probably put that in my calendar.
I would
so
hope.
you show up on time,
Yeah, exactly. That's this Saturday right here on ESPN LA. Little after 8 o'clock at KSPN Los Angeles, a good Karma Brands radio station. Cappy, I'll be there tonight. My
Yes,
downtown LA home away from home, and yours too, the East Central Hotel. So you don't need a room tonight. Do you need a room tomorrow night?
Yeah. I don't think this Black Crows thing is going to happen for me tonight at the Hollywood Bowl. Too much other stuff happening over the course of the weekend that kind of knocked me out yesterday. But anyway, listen, let's talk about the East Central. If you are coming to downtown LA, you got family in town, or you got friends that are in for a convention, or I'm watching what happens across the street. You know, people line up overnight because they want to be in line at the Grammy Museum for whatever event might be going on. You don't need to stay on the streets. You come right across the streets. You get into the East Central Hotel. Robert Montez and his entire crew, he's the general manager, they will treat you like you are family. And you're going to have the biggest hotel room in all of downtown LA. You're going to have that brand new gym, which is perfect for a gym workout, dumbbells and treadmills. And then you got the Nixo Lounge where you can be up on that second floor and get the sights and the sounds and the feel of downtown LA, but you're up above all the fray. You get a nice cocktail, good breakfast in the morning. And Chris, I know one of the things we both really love are the really super soft towels there at the East Central.
Yeah, the middle towel, I use it for my privates. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to be there tonight. Using the towels, sleeping in that comfortable bed, and putting my keys, my phone, everything, my wallet on the giant hand. And then, Trudell's doing Lakers talk. So afterwards, he can come over. I'll sit him on the hand. Slap him around.
I like that. Yeah,
Say,
I
you're
like
a
that.
bad boy, Trudell.
Put him right on that hand. Hey, the East Central Hotel.
LA. And Geeter, too. The Golden
All right.
Schwans.
Downtown, you need the spot. We got the best hotel, the biggest rooms, the softest towels, the most wonderful staff, and the best location by far, the East Central Hotel in downtown LA.
Evan Cohen joins us 4 minutes from right now on ESPN LA.
USC football.
Fight on.
Miller at the 5. Miller in the end zone. Touchdown USC. The Trojans kick off the season Saturday, August 29th against San Jose State. Right into a sack. Boom. Down he goes. Dives inside of the end zone. Touchdown USC. Jake Mayava's done it with his feet again.
Kickoff is at noon.
On your home for Trojan football.
USC football is back this fall on ESPN LA, LA's mega sports station. Fight on.
Great teams walk in with the playbook, so why face your family's future without one? Globe Life makes protecting the people you love simple, and with Globe Life, it's never been any easier. You can apply for coverage online or with an agent in just minutes. No complicated strategy, just straightforward protection from a name you already trust. Get your free quote today at globelifeinsurance.com. Globe Life, official life insurance of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Morongo's giving away a Mustang GT Fastback. It's sleek and turns heads. We already have so much in common. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Walker Hayes is bringing that country stuff to Morongo on the 22nd.
Number 2.
Morongo's Travel Center gas prices are the lowest around.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a 2026 Mustang GT Fastback, the 31st.
Morongo, good times.
John Ireland here, Off the Clock. My vodka is Blue Ice. Smooth, creamy, and made from non-GMO Idaho potatoes with pristine Teton water. No added sugar, and you can find it at Vons, Albertsons, and Pavilions. Blue Ice vodka, pure as the Tetons. Enjoy responsibly.
Mason. Summer is sizzling and the August deals are at Northridge or Wonders Toyota. It's Bethel Durant, and I love my Camry Hybrid. And right now, you can lease a 2026 Camry SE Hybrid CVT for $359 a month or 36 months plus tax. $359 for a new Camry Hybrid? Come on now. It's got to be Northridge and Wonders Toyota.
Lease based on 2026 Camry model 2561 with total SRP of $33,808. Lease in purchase amount of $21,964. $29.99 due at signing. Includes first month payment and $750 acquisition fee. Security deposit may be required. Unapproved credit, tax, title, license, or extra. Excludes dealer doc fee of $80. Offer ends 8/31/2026.
It's DeMarco Farr and my guy, Attorney Big Al, in studio with me today.
The biggest mistake that people do is think that they can handle a car accident themselves. I don't need a lawyer. I don't need to bother with a lawyer. I'll just do it. It's not a big deal. I'll talk to the insurance company and handle it myself. That's the biggest mistake you could do because you don't know what you're doing. There are lots of different aspects of a car accident that you're going to mess up. And as you mess up your case in 1 week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks, by the time you call the lawyer, it's way too late. You already messed everything up. So the first mistake is thinking that you can do this yourself. You're not going to do a good job. You're going to hurt yourself and cause yourself a lot of pain down the road. The point of getting an attorney is to let them take care of all the problems. They're the experts. They know how to deal with all the problems. They know how to fix your car. They know how to get you treatment. They know how to deal with insurance companies. Don't do it yourself.
If you're in an accident, I've got a guy, Attorney Big Al. 1-800-HURT-123 or attorneybigalca.com.
Attorney Big Al is Attorney Ken Klein, based in Los Angeles.
Harry Douglas here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of that guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's delicious, portable, zero sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on the summer with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com and on Amazon.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Rich, Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
This is the Angelica's Insurance 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
Good morning, guys. This is Angelica, and this is the 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA, presented by Angelica's Insurance. Every team needs a strong defense, and we got you covered at Angelica's Insurance. From auto and home to business and life, we have a plan just for you, even DUI and SR22 coverage to get you back on the road fast. Visit us at angelicas-ins.com for a free quote today. And now, the 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Kap Morning Show, powered by Angelica's Insurance. And Sedano, please pump the brakes, sucker.
The Angelica's Insurance 8 a.m. hour.
8:07. Good morning. The Sedano and Kap Monday Morning Show on a Monday, August 17th. Oh, now we're coming back with Cappy's lookalike on the YouTube channel.
I don't think I look anything like Gary Sinise.
No, you do. You look a lot like Gary
Like
Sinise.
Sedano said, when you squint.
Especially the squinting. Yeah.
I can't wait for mine next, hopefully, when it's me and Lebitard.
Speaking of which, Lebitard's going to record that thing for us that we wanted.
Oh, beautiful. The Dan Lebitard Show penalty box.
Right. Yes.
And somebody who will stick in there when he comes out for an LA visit. The one and only Evan Cohen you hear on Sports Like weekdays 3 to 7 a.m. leading our show. Evan joins us now on a Monday morning on the Hard Rock Casino Tajon hotline. Good morning, Evan.
You know, I can see the Morales-Lebitard lookalike thing. I've never thought about that. It's not 100%, but, like, I think from certain angles it's there.
I think so. I think the beard, especially right now, Morales has got a nice tight beard, trimmed down low.
Yeah,
and if Lebitard ate a lot more nachos, he would
whoa.
he would look like that.
I don't eat nachos.
Oh,
he does is the point.
Oh, he eats nachos?
He loves nachos.
Oh.
That's his whole bit.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that, actually.
Come on, man.
And I'm a big listener of the show. I missed that.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're also shorter than him.
I had a couple of Sedano and Kap observations from the weekend, by the way.
Okay.
Not to go weekend observations, but I had a couple. First of all, George, your tan, the picture of you at the Angels game, very good tan right now. I'd like
Cute
to say
pic.
that. That's number one. It's a very good pick. Very good tan.
Oh, yeah, you were at the
okay?
Angels game yesterday. Do you enjoy Angels Stadium?
Yeah, Angel Stadium was easy to get in and out of, that's for sure.
That's what happens when there's no traffic.
and I'll say this, we almost saw a no-hitter for the other team, but it ended up being a one-hitter. So
yeah.
I mean, I was actually at my zone. No, he didn't go to the Coors Light Chill Zone.
No, we were third base.
I was actually a little offended because I was actually at my house yesterday, and you were 10 minutes away. You didn't come say hello, but okay.
Chris,
Well, I mean-
it's the Sedano and Kap show, not the Morales show. Okay,
Oh, wow.
that's enough.
Oh, we're going to go
anyway,
there? Really?
The second thing, Cappy, I don't know if you were you asleep while grilling the other night? Because I saw that video.
Yeah.
You looked fully asleep while grilling. Explain that one to me.
Well, Ev, what happened was this. Morales and his girlfriend Stephanie came down to Del Mar on Friday afternoon. They got here about 12:30. Now, the video that you saw that Chris took, that was probably what, Chris, about 11:30 at night by that time?
I think so, yeah.
We had gone to the racetrack. We had gone to dinner. We had gone to the Yachtly Crew concert. We went backstage afterwards to take pictures and hang out with the guys. And by that time, everybody was hungry, so we all came back to my house, and I turned on the grill and started, whipping out burgers. But I I guess it was a very long day. I could understand where I may have looked like I was asleep standing up. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you guys should put that video out because he looks fully asleep. He's fast asleep.
And
while
here was
standing and grilling.
Here was the hook. We were kind of in a rush to get back to the house because we had a car picking us up at midnight to take us back to Stephanie's house, and I had to be back here at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday. So Cappy felt rushed because we would have just gone to another spot. And, the Rachel and her friends might have been a little intoxicated. So I think Cappy was also a little worn out, too. It's
I was
fine,
babysitting
I'll put these
at that
burgers
point.
out, and let's get some people fed, and let's get Chris and Stephanie off so I can go to sleep.
That's pretty true. But Ev, of all the videos from the weekend, you picked out the barbecuing video, not the horses winning the races or not the massive, crazy, ridiculous wildfires in the backyard yesterday. I mean, man, oh, man.
I don't think I saw those, so that's on me. But I did. I apologize. I'll try to look for those when I'm done driving.
No, I just assumed you saw everything.
I have another thing. I have another thing now. So, George, would you say most of my sports takes you appreciate that I bring to your show, but you disagree with?
Yes.
Okay. I got one for you.
Okay.
Okay, where are we going here?
Can't wait.
I'm watching Ty Simpson carve up a defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it's a preseason game. But as a former quarterback in high school, no big deal, I'm watching the way he's throwing. And I'm just like, boy, he is slinging it. He looks really good there. And I went to this place of the Rams are so well run right now that all I could think about when he was throwing the ball was Joe Burrow. And what I mean is not that he throws like Joe Burrow, but more so if they want to get Joe Burrow in a year or two, they're going to be able to get Joe Burrow by bleeping them picks combined with Ty Simpson for Joe Burrow. But
Joe Burrow doesn't play enough football for me to trade for him.
There's the disagreement.
So insert another Lamar, whoever, because I think we are approaching a time in the NFL where we could have some NBA-style ask-outs at the quarterback position. And I think the Rams, if they want to bleep them picks again at the quarterback position, can do that if they pair Ty Simpson with them, if he looks like that. Now, the obvious thing is, well, why not just keep him then in that spot? Of course, I get it. But if there's someone that is so blatantly obvious to acquire, that's where my mind went with the Ty
but
Simpson
see, I get where your mind goes, but I'm also surprised by that because he's a cost-controlled contract for so long that let's say, Stafford plays this year and maybe next, let's just say for argument's sake. You still have Ty Simpson under control for at least 2 years.
Right.
So it's like, and you can really then load up on the rest of the team. Like, I actually don't, I don't think, if he looks good, I don't think that makes a ton of sense.
Here's another perspective for you, Ev. Just give me one more. Here's another perspective. So when McVay took over the Rams, Jared Goff had already been drafted and was already a part of the Rams organization. That was not the quarterback that he drafted, and he did everything he could do to try and cultivate at the time a very young quarterback. Yeah. So now the difference is that they drafted Ty Simpson so that they had the amount of time that they're going to have, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, whatever it may be, to truly immerse him into their offense, into their film study, into their personnel, et cetera, so that when the time is right, whether it's next year at this time or 2 years from now, they're going to have the confidence that they've had this kid and they've been cultivating him throughout to get him ready to start.
Here's the overall point then. What we just did for the last 5 minutes is an unbelievably healthy conversation with a million different outcomes. That it's not like being asleep over a fire on a grill where you can really hurt yourself.
Right.
Every outcome proves how right the Rams are on so many things, including Ty Simpson in the first round when you use your additional first rounder, obviously, on getting Trent McDuffie at the cornerback position. That for all those people that are still out there saying, I don't like the Ty Simpson pick, they're an all-in team, etc., we just went through so many different options of why it makes sense if he's good, which obviously over the weekend he looked good, and I will continue to say 1,000% the right pick the Rams made this past draft.
Well, there's always got to be a dissenting opinion on a story like this, and we've got one. And we've got one here. I mean, George and I are kind of consumed with McVay and Snead and the way the Rams do business, but there is somebody on this squad that definitely agrees that this was a terrible choice. Bergie, you still want to go that way? Or is one preseason game and that sort of efficiency enough for you to all of a sudden buy in now on Ty Simpson?
No, it's not enough time. There was one preseason game. I can't anoint or not anoint somebody after one preseason game. And
I get it, but I think the advantage that Ty Simpson has, okay, is the luxury of time, right? And to kind of emphasize what Evan was saying, and he's got McVay. You know what I mean? Like, handpicked, to Cappy's point, by McVay. Like, this is a perfect situation for a quarterback of that age and that ilk. And to reiterate Cappy's point from earlier when Evan wasn't even on yet, he's a kid who's fine waiting. He did it at Alabama. You don't think he's going to do it for Sean McVay in the NFL?
Right.
Like, he's totally fine.
Yep, he's a real team guy.
Oh, well, George, I think that's the best point. You can double and triple down on that point because my personal opinion, this is a guesstimation, is he entered I don't think he entered the NFL draft. I think he entered the Rams. I think he knew he was going to go to the Rams, and I think the moment he knew that, he decides to enter the draft. I think if he didn't get that wink from the Rams, he would not be in the draft. I think he entered the Rams, not the draft. Big difference.
Right, he would have gone back to college, right?
That's right. And by the way, it may not have been Alabama. It could have been Miami or somewhere else.
They were offering him $6 million. Yeah. Now
right.
You know why they were offering him $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's really smart because I think he said, what's the best path for development? And I think he said McVay and Stafford and time. I mean, McVay said something over the weekend about Aaron Donald that we can use in some ways, it's a little bit different, but in some ways towards Simpson, which is I'm not going to put the invisible deadline or arbitrary deadline, whatever it is. Like, if Ty Simpson only starts for the Rams starting in year 5, how many Super Bowls do they win in that time? 2, 3? I mean, think about how good they would be if they have to wait
for them,
long.
Right. If Stafford is still the quarterback at that time, right? I don't think he'll last that long because he's already up there in age. But yeah, yes, that would mean they'd have tremendous success.
Bergie has an argument, but here's the problem with the argument. The problem with the argument is a rookie this year on this team going to make that much of a difference? Or, Bergie, are you saying I would have rather seen them trade 13 for, I'm making this up, Trent Williams?
Sure, I would have liked.
For the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to answer your question, I would like to have seen something on the offensive line for this team or something in the receiver depth area because you have
depth area.
Well, because they don't really have that much of a receiver depth outside of Puka and Devontae. But
I disagree.
I mean, they develop a receiver every time. You didn't know who Puka was. You didn't know who Cooper Kupp was.
No, I understand. But what you have are those two. If one of those go down, you're probably going to be so. Either way, offensive line or wide receiver is what I wanted to see, and I think because you're in a Matthew Stafford window, that you try to maximize that window as much as possible. I think you could have gotten more offensive line.
They
don't know
got
what's
Myles
going on
Garrett
with it.
and they got Trent McDuffie.
That's on the defense. That's on the defensive side.
And they're getting Aaron Donald back.
That's
they
on the
don't
defensive
need more.
side.
I mean, they do a fantastic job of developing wide receivers.
Why is
they
it though?
do.
Why is there this knock? And I'm asking this question. It's not at you, Bergie. It is at a lot of people. Why is there this knock on the third wide receiver of the Rams? You know, Jordan Whittington is a competent player. I'm not telling you he's a number 1, and I'm not telling you he's going to the Hall of Fame.
And the kid from Pitt is good too.
Yeah,
Mumfield.
They also got these other young kids. Like, I'll give you an example.
Evan, the kid C.J. Daniels from Miami.
I don't usually love Pitt grads. That's just me, but go ahead.
All right,
the C.J. Daniels kid from Miami has been fantastic in camp.
Well, how did you guys like this kid, Brennan Presley? Last year, Brennan Presley was a kid that was an undrafted free agent out of Oklahoma State. This guy in high school was one of the top players coming out of high school, but because he was short, nobody wanted to give him the big-time ride.
He's Wes Welker-esque. Yeah.
Very much so. And so a kid like that, Brennan Presley was your leading wide receiver over the course of the weekend. He's a nice little player. And so he's kind of got a similar body to Tutu.
Or Lad
from a couple years ago.
Or like Lad McConkey.
So I don't understand. Like, to me, I look at the Rams and I go, they've got a number 3 receiver, and then they've got like 4 or 5 guys that could be your number 4 wide receiver. Who's going to emerge from that group? And that sort of competition makes everybody better. So I don't understand why there's this constant knock of they don't have 3 receivers. They have more than 3. They've got about 5 or 6, not to mention they're going to have 4 tight ends that are dressed. And, oh, by the way,
And
they
they
have
think
a 5th,
Terrence Ferguson is going to have a monster year, it feels like.
and they've got a 5th tight end who, unfortunately, is not likely going to make the team. Is a kid from Louisville out of Newport Beach, and he had a nice game this past weekend, but there's probably just not enough room for the kid.
Going back to the offensive line, I think that's more of the important one because, A, you don't know what's going on with Alaric Jackson. There's still nothing going on. It could be anywhere from 2 to 6 games. If he's out for 6 games, that's your left tackle. So having depth at the offensive line, I think in this window with Matthew Stafford, to me, that would be more important to have. More guys on the offensive line that can step into those spots.
Over the last several years, because they've had a lot of injuries along the offensive line, just very similar to the way they've developed other guys, they've developed a lot of guys who are capable of being plugged in along the offensive line.
To your point, though, Bergie, if Jackson is suspended for however long it may be, and he's probably looking at some form of a punishment, having additional offensive line depth is something valuable to have. And to George's point, they have developed it because really the only guy that they lost from the starting 5 from last year was Havenstein, and he was hurt for most of the year last year. So now you've got this Jackson situation.
Oh, Evan's still there? Who knew?
Hi, Ev.
Well, you want me to interrupt every second? That was a good conversation, Morales. Why you have an issue with that
Thank you.
conversation just now?
Thank you, Evan.
I just don't know why we have you on then.
What are you talking? Just go, Evan, please. Don't. Let's not start this again.
Evan started it with his
you
nonsense.
could get suspended today. You get suspended today,
God,
Morales,
I
real
pray
quick and
for
easy.
it. I pray for it.
My nonsense? I was just talking about the trending Sedano and Kap videos over the weekend. Why is that a bad thing? That means people are consuming your stuff, and I'm one of those people. Why would you be upset about that, Morales?
Just go.
Yeah, just go.
Okay. 2 questions then, 2 follow-ups on this. Bergie, yes or no? If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, will it be because they passed on a lineman in the first round of the draft?
No. Well, I mean, it could be if Alaric Jackson is out for a long time.
Yes or no, and it could be are 2 different things.
You were very definitive at first, Berg.
So,
you were real definitive.
Most likely,
maybe.
no. I will go with no.
All right.
There is situations, but no.
If they win the Super Bowl, will it be because of elite play at the number 3 wide receiver?
I think it can be.
That would be interesting. I don't know an example of a team that I'd say historically won the Super Bowl. I don't mean the game, right, a singular moment or whatever. I'm saying where we look back at a team and say, that's why they win the Super Bowl. Their number 3 receiver is really why they won the Super Bowl. My point in saying it that way is I think we are – now, I understand the Dodgers haven't been as good recently, but I think the Rams are going to be so good that we're just now nitpicking and finding reasons to wonder, could this be the reason why things go wrong when there's no obvious reason as to why things are going to go wrong? If Ty Simpson was their only pick, like I'll give you this. I don't know if I like him as a backup quarterback. I'd maybe rather him as a third-string quarterback. And if Garoppolo was still there, again, I'm totally nitpicking this. I just think they're that good, and they should be that good, and they're that well coached, and they're that well run. And I think, that's kind of where you're at with this right now with this team.
And to your point, let me just make this one. So when they knew that Aaron Donald was going to retire, they loaded up on draft choices on the defensive line, and they went into free agency, and they got defensive linemen. They were not going to sit around and go, we're going to try and replace one player, an all-time great, with one player. They replaced Aaron Donald with 4 or 5 guys. Now, you may complain, and a lot of people are, that they don't have a true great number 3 wide receiver. I would say how many teams around the league do have a really great number 3 wide receiver. But here's what the Rams have. The Rams have 4 tight ends, and in the last 2 years, they've drafted tight ends in the 2nd round. And these 2 young kids, Terrence Ferguson and Max Clare, who we saw Clare this past weekend have a nice game, those 2 guys are the eventual replacements for Colby Parkinson and Tyler Higbee.
Right.
So
and
they do a great
point,
job of preparing.
Mark Redmond played well, too, from Louisville, right?
Right. Redmond's a nice player.
And by the way, they could also, at any given point, they could probably sign Tyreek Hill for $10 an hour if they wanted to.
Well, in the state of California, minimum wage is a little bit more than that, but I understand your point. It's probably looking at $17.50 an hour, I think is what we're looking at.
No, that was good. You took that literally.
Well, I'm concerned. You know what I mean? There's a salary cap.
Let's get Morales back in the mix. I feel now I'm going to have to deal with this all day.
Trust me, you're not. You will not. Don't worry about it.
No concerns.
Oh, he's not going to talk to me now. Jeez.
No, I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we got one more day. And we're off on the YouTube. We're not doing YouTube tomorrow at 9 a.m. So, yeah, we're fine. We only got a few more hours left.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, tough crowd. Tough crowd here today.
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah. What was with the mustard on those burgers, by the way, while we're at it?
So that was Rachel's friend. What was her name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. She's a chef or something. And she put mustard. She slathered those things in mustard.
Mustard is great on a burger. What are you talking about?
But no. She slathered them before the barbecue.
Oh.
So it was amazing.
As part of the seasoning, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I personally had never heard of that technique before, but I know it is a little weird, but it was delish.
Yeah, I was a little thrown off by it. I'm not even a burger guy, but I was thrown off by it.
Yeah. I actually caught some heat from some people in our audience. Like, you're cooking burgers at 11 o'clock at night? Where's your carne asada? I'm like, that was what was in the freezer, pal. That was it. That's all I had. The Hebrew brother didn't have any carne asada. He was lucky he had frozen burgers in the freezer. You know? Hey, speaking of performances this past weekend for the Rams, Ev, I don't know how closely you're watching this team because there's obviously a lot of preseason games on. I may have a new favorite player right now for the Rams. And I'll ask you guys if you caught any of this kid's act. Anybody know who Dean Connors is?
Yeah, the running back.
Did you know who Dean Connors was prior to that game?
Yeah, because I called his games last year.
Okay, let me rephrase this. My point is simply that Dean Connors is a guy, like, you know how the phrase, he's a poor man's this guy? Dean Connors is a broke guy's Christian McCaffrey. I love guys like this. 5'11", 200 pounds, out of Houston, bounced around in college football, and in his first preseason game, he's running, he's catching, he's scoring. I love stories like this. This guy's from out of nowhere.
He's Radio Rinaldi all over again.
Right. This is again McVay and Snead going, we have two good running backs, but what if we needed a third or a fourth? How versatile is this guy? So I'm a big Dean Connors fan after what I saw this past weekend. Ev, did you catch any of Dean Connors' act?
No, I did not, but I could look him up and guess how he looks now based on the comp you made, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, the comp is very obvious. Yes, he's a white guy running back.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's right.
So he doesn't actually play like Christian McCaffrey.
No, he did in preseason game 1.
Right, he did have a McCaffrey-esque type of game.
4 catches, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries, 22 yards.
I called one of his games actually 2 years ago. He was at Rice when I called.
Was he at Rice? Yeah, I was going to say he went from Rice to Houston. So, yeah, these are good stories. This is why. Listen, Ev, I told George last week I don't really watch preseason football, but the undrafted free agent inside of me who knows this might be these kids' only chance to show what they got, I had to watch.
Do you know where he played before Rice?
There was a third school previous Rice. You tell me. Make me smart.
Riverside City College.
That's right. He started at Riverside 2021.
Right
yep, started at Riverside
just
Community
down
College.
the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Football power, yeah. I have no idea who he is. Still have no idea. So is he going to make the team?
Probably not.
He's
Maybe
probably
like
a
a
practice roster
squad
player.
Maybe, yeah.
He's probably a practice roster
I
player.
love how Cappy says, I have no interest in watching preseason football because you never know who these guys are. Now you find a guy that no one knows who he is, and I ask you if he's going to make the team, and you say no.
No, he's probably not going to make the team. And by the way, there's another guy I've already mentioned today, a guy named Mark Redmond. Yeah. George just mentioned him. Kid from Newport Beach, played his college football at Louisville, comes home. You got 4 tight ends. 2 of them are second-round draft choices. One of them's a second-year player. One of them's a rookie. And you got 2 really good tight ends that are veteran players. So there's really not enough room on this roster for a 5th tight end, but you keep them on the practice roster just in case.
Ev, who did you who stood out to you this weekend beyond Ty Simpson? Like, it doesn't have to be Rams. It could be anybody.
No, I know. So I literally, George, put together a list of the preseason players that stood out to me, and I swear to God, I have my notes here. There's like one person has a star. It's just him. It's just like wow. He's so the names I have here, right? I have Tua and how bad he was. Tampa has a quarterback, Jalen Daniels. Mariota hurt. Jackson Dart's injuries. The Minnesota quarterback, Josh Allen. The Browns thing that, their quarterback battle, and literally just this guy was starred. That's it. I think it's the most significant thing that I saw in terms of like let's just call it the next 3 to 5 years in the NFL. What was more significant than that? Unless you believe like, oh my God, Jeremiah Love is going to be just worked into the ground by the Cardinals. Although I do think Ian Rappaport pointed this out at the NFL Network. We have a problem. When I see M. LaFleur said Jay Love has a high ankle sprain, I thought it was the Packers quarterback.
Yep,
that's not right.
Yep.
Somebody's going to have to change their name, I think. I've decided.
Yeah. Mike and Matt. Call them Maddie and Mikey.
something like that. We got to figure it out because you're exactly right. The LaFleur-Love combo in Arizona and Green Bay is going to confuse a lot of people as the season goes on.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And I'll tell you what else stood out to me this weekend, and obviously people in L.A. know him from winning a Super Bowl. I knew Von Miller was in the NFL with the Commanders last year. I had no idea he had 9.5
9 sacks was surprising to me, too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wrote that down because he signed with the Cowboys, and I'm like putting that in my notes, and I'm like, what? Is this from last year he had 9 sacks?
Yeah, very quiet. Washington did not have a lot of eyes on it last year. Once Jaden Daniels went out, people were like, okay, they're not going to be any good. They're not going to repeat in the NFC Championship game. And, yeah, fell asleep on him and fell asleep on him.
There you have it.
How's Morales doing? How's he doing over there?
I'm good.
Yeah. All right, Ev.
I know him too well. Yeah, he's not good. We have a problem. George, what time do you want to speak later? Because we're going to have to deal with this, obviously.
Trust me, you're not going to. You're not going to have to deal with it. 8:31, Evan Cohen, you here on Sports Mike. Weekdays 3 to 7 a.m. leading into this show. Evan, have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Morales.
Wow. They think that Evan looks like the Situation from the old MTV show.
Oh, he does look like the Situation.
Wow, he does.
The
Bring
Situation.
Evan back for a second. Evan, you still there?
I'm here.
The YouTube chat says you look like Mike the Situation from the Jersey Shore.
I've heard worse, that's for sure. I'm certainly not built like him. I'm built like a situation. That's the problem. I don't go to the gym. I do have a tan and I do laundry, so I don't know what I have.
You got 2 of the 3. That's all right.
You have a compound in the Northeast. That's not bad.
Don't you run on a treadmill every day?
Yeah, but that's in my house.
Well, it's still there.
Hey, but is that technically going to the gym if it's in my house?
No, but
you're still working out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exercise.
Yesterday, I swam laps, I ran, and then I played my son in one-on-one, and it was legitimately painful.
By the way, just to point out the compound, you did all those things at your house.
Yeah, not the point. But the point is, my son is 12 years old. He's 6'1", and I don't let him win in one-on-one. I refuse to let my son win. Like, my whole thing is if my kids want to be great at something, I'm not going to roll over. If we're joking around and they're like, they don't care about it, I may let them win. But if they want to be great at something, I will not roll over, and they have to earn the win. Say what you want about my parenting, that's fine. But I don't let my son win in basketball. And yesterday, it was so hard to beat him that I passed out at the end of it. I couldn't breathe by the end of the one-on-one.
Oh, my. Do you have an Olympic-sized swimming pool there to swim laps? Because that's a nice pool.
He's got a backyard big enough to have 14 people over for a hibachi night.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're crossing a line. That's ridiculous. It was 17.
Here, I'll give you one thing to make you smile on the way out. Here, hold on.
66 WNBC.
There we go. All right, now he's back.
All right, Evan, take the rest of the day off. Sedano, let's talk about our friend Jacob Emrati.
Yeah, let's do it. Cappy, rideshares are part of everyday life now outside of the airport, after a night out in Hollywood, during the morning rush, when parking just isn't worth the hassle, or when you just want to sit back and let someone else deal with the L.A. traffic for once.
But when a rideshare driver gets into an accident, the legal situation is a lot more complicated than just like a regular car crash. And the injuries can be just as serious. So if you were hurt in a rideshare accident, you got to call Jacob Emrati.
Yeah, you call him at 800-345-6789. Call Jacob Accident Lawyers, and they can review what happened, whether the driver, the rideshare company, or another vehicle, or a combination of factors may be responsible, and what your next steps could look like across multiple insurance policies.
You get the free consultation. There's a no-obligation case review, and as I always tell you, don't sweat money. You're not paying a retainer. There is no fee unless Jacob wins. So don't let the complexity of a rideshare case stop you from getting what you deserve.
Yeah, man. So here's the deal. Just call Jacob. You get into an accident, you call him. 800-345-6789. Or go to calljacob.com. One more time, that number, 800-345-6789. Or visit calljacob.com.
All right, we're a little behind. What time? How long are we going to take, Jorge, here?
About 5 minutes.
We'll take a 5-minute timeout, and then we'll be back right here on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Monday, Jack.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We'd like to thank our founding partner,
Providence, caring with compassion in Southern California.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Hi, folks, it's Oral Hershiser, and I couldn't be prouder or more excited to introduce the new Oral Hershiser Chevrolet here in beautiful Chino. Chevrolet has been a part of America's story for over 100 years, built on grit, reliability, and doing things the right way. And that's exactly how we are going to earn your business at Oral Hershiser Chevrolet. So come on in, say hello, and let us earn your trust. Oral Hershiser Chevrolet. Bulldog tough, Chevy strong.
On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app now available in all 50 states. That means California from Texas to Florida. One app, every sport, all 50 states. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season and the biggest day in sports history. New DraftKings customers sign up with code LA710, spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code LA710 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions do apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook, predictions, and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
The roster.
Tired of watching life from the bench? It's time to get in the game. Globe Life is looking for people who want more than just a job. Set your own schedule and help families protect what matters most. No experience? No problem. Training is provided, and you don't need anything to get started. It's not a desk job. It's a shot at building your legacy on your own terms. Your road to the championship starts at GlobeLifeCareers.com. Globe Life, official life insurance of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Morongo's giving away a Mustang GT Fastback. It's sleek and turns heads. We already have so much in common. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Walker Hayes is bringing that country stuff to Morongo on the 22nd.
Number 2.
Morongo's Travel Center gas prices are the lowest around.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a 2026 Mustang GT Fastback, the 31st.
Morongo, good times.
Oh.
Thank you, Young D. 8:38 in the morning. Join DeMarco and Travis this Thursday, August 20th, live at Legends Attic in Claremont. Dalton Rushing will make an appearance, as well as Oral Hershiser, Dave Holbrecht's incredible artwork, and plenty more. That's this Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. at our friends at Legends Attic. Be there in the city of Claremont, the Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We keep rolling on a Monday. We're back in 2 minutes from right now.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
Guys, Pizza Hut takes me back old school. Birthday parties, Little League, Friday nights, there was always something special about the Hut. Now, celebrate again with Pizza Hut's new throwback value menu. Iconic favorites like a personal pan pizza, breadsticks, and a 2-liter soda starting at just $4. Feed the family with the original stuffed crust pizza, $11.99 for a one-topping medium. Try new additions like triple cheese, mac, and gooey s'mores sticks. Go to pizzahut.com or order now on the Pizza Hut app.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Kenny here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of the guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's a delicious, portable, zero-sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on summer with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon.
You're hanging out with the Sedano and Kap Morning Show. George Sedano.
I mean, this is like silly. Like, what are we doing here?
Scott Kaplan.
Here's the phone. Back in the blink. Band and 5 minute vamp, and I don't think to find what to drop with my dope rhyme.
More Sedano and Kap right now.
$8:41. Good morning. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Monday. The 17th of August. Good morning. Cappy on this day in 2002. The #1 alternative hit, Red Hot Chili Peppers, By the Way. Also, happy birthday. He turns 84 today. Bob De Niro. And Sean Penn turned 67. Damn.
Sean Penn, man, what an incredible career. You think about it. From Spicoli to an award-winning actor, right?
Right. Well, and just gives you an idea of how long he's been a part of your life. Like for me, Fast Times at Ridgemont High in the early 80s, that was the movie, and he was the character.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
De Niro is obvious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just, he's a legend. You know what I mean? But Sean Penn, a legend in his own right.
Also amazing, both of those guys, became so famous, became so rich, became so influential that rather than just keeping their mouths shut and just being like, hey, I'm just here, I'm an actor, those guys had a lot of strong opinions and really very influential, I would say, beyond just their movie roles.
Sure, no question about it.
Also up on the screen on YouTube, Carlo's got Levitard and me. But that's not a great comp, Carlo, because I'm looking away. It's not head on. But that's I would still take it as a nice compliment.
Also like to see you without a hat on, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, and there's plenty of pictures of Dan with a hat. You could probably find that one, too.
So he likes nachos? Does he make his own nachos? What's his deal?
I just nachos in general. I'm sure he makes his own, but yeah, I mean, he's a nacho kind of guy.
I do love nachos as well. As a matter of fact, if I go to a place like a Chipotle or someplace like that, I would rather get the full bag of their chips because they're really crispy and salty. And then I would just get a bowl and I would just dip everything onto the chip. And I would eat the entire bowl with a chip as a fork rather than actually like a fork, like a human being. You know what I mean? Anybody else do that, or is it just me?
Don't forget those chips have a little bit of lemon on it too, so it's like they taste pretty good.
See, a little limon.
Limon, hey, yeah.
See.
We're not going anywhere.
Limon, Simon.
Limon.
We're with you until the top of the hour. But Cappy, let's break it up here and talk about the Wellness Company.
Oh, I would love to do that, as a matter of fact. Here, I got it right here. This is the Wellness Company's Medical Emergency Kit, and the Medical Emergency Kit is so important for everybody in our audience to make sure you have one of these. Because if you've got a kid going away to college, or if you've got kids that are going back to school right now, you know that those kids are going to come home and they're going to bring germs from those other little kids, right? And that's why you have to have the Medical Emergency Kit, because inside of it, you have all of the different medications that you might find yourself needing that you don't need to, you don't want to wait in line at an urgent care. You don't want to have to call your doctor. You don't have to go pay a copayment. All of these medications are here, like a generic Z-Pack. How many times have you had a Z-Pack where the doctor's prescribed it and you're like, gosh, I wish I just had this in my house? Now you can. It's such a genius thing to know that all of these medications, you can have them in advance so that when you get sick, you can get on this medication and get better as quickly as possible. And if you don't feel confident, like, How do I match the medication to my illness? That's why you've got the guidebook. And if the guidebook isn't enough for you, they've got telehealth professionals standing by and ready for you. So here's what you do. You go to urgentcarekit.com/710, urgentcarekit.com/710. Use our promo code 710. You're saving $45. Don't delay, because the kids are going to college or they're going back to school. You need the medical emergency kit in your house ASAP.
Thank you, Cappy. 8:45 on a Monday morning, Sha.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. Cappy.
So, Georgie.
I had a thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up here this hour, but go right ahead if you have it.
Well, I want to just say this. Listen, we've talked about Ty Simpson, and I think we were all impressed with Ty Simpson's preseason debut for the Rams. I think that goes without saying. Stetson Bennett didn't play very much. My sense is that the reason that we're not going to see much of Stetson Bennett other than a few snaps here and there, maybe he'll play more as the second and third preseason come about. But, George, I think that as of today, if you were going to ask Sean McVay, even after Simpson's debut, who's the backup quarterback going into the season, I think McVay has put his confidence in Stetson Bennett thus far. We'll see. Some people believe that the backup quarterback is not currently on the roster. Has Ty Simpson done enough in one preseason game to make you feel confident? Not for me. Did Stetson Bennett do anything special? Not really. But I think that the years of having Stetson Bennett on this roster gives him the advantage going into the season as the number 2. What do you think about that?
For now.
Yeah, for now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it is conceivable.
I don't believe that will be the case.
Do you think that they're going to get another backup quarterback? Do you think they're going to go get somebody else?
Or Simpson will surpass him?
Possible. I mean, he definitely had a beautiful game in game 1, and Bennett didn't play that much. I mentioned the kid Dean Connors. I love stories like these where you're an undrafted free agent, and you mentioned it, Riverside Community College to Rice to Houston to undrafted, and you get an opportunity and you take advantage. So I like the Dean Connors kid. I also mentioned Mark Redmond, the tight end out of Louisville, the kid from Newport Beach. Unfortunately, there's 4 tight ends ahead of him, but he's maybe a practice player. And I thought one thing that the Rams did well this past weekend, because you don't usually play that many of your regulars, Xavier Smith returning punts this weekend. Why is that important, George? That is important.
Well, because of what transpired at the end of the season last year.
And that kid needs reps because he needs confidence. If Xavier Smith is going to be your punt returner in the regular season, then you got to get what happened in the NFC Championship game out of his head. And the best way to do that is to play him in the preseason.
Back on the field, Jack.
Exactly. And he had that one nice punt return. I want to say it was in the third quarter. It's probably about a 25-yarder or so, but he made a really good first move, made the first guy miss, and then down the left sideline. So those are some thoughts from Rams preseason game number 1 outside of just the quarterback.
Okay,
there
great. Do we have to step aside here, Christopher?
No, we're good till 56:20. We've got one more read to do, but we can do that in a few minutes.
Okay. Cappy, did you see Tommy John passed away this weekend?
I did see that, and I think it was 83 years old?
83 years old. Mm-hmm. He had one of the longest careers in MLB history, 26 years. Only Nolan Ryan played for longer than Tommy John. Tommy John obviously had the actual Tommy John surgery while he played for the Dodgers, you may recall. And Tommy John played 14 more years, never missed a start after Frank Jobe, the revolutionary doctor who took the ligament and replaced it with one of his own ligaments, did the surgery. Frank Jobe, obviously a longtime physician for many of the teams here in Southern California. I believe Dr. Clapper said was his mentor, if I recall correctly.
He said that, yep.
And, think about that. Like, what a life Tommy John lived and how many teams he played for. I mean, I think he started with the Indians and was the White Sox. Then it was the Dodgers. Then the Yankees. And
Old
then
school,
a couple
California Angels.
Then there was an Oakland A's stint in there somewhere. Maybe one other team I'm missing. And then finished his career in 89 with the Yankees after starting in 1963. But the thing about it is this. Is the surgery, 14 more years, did not miss a start. Just an incredible surgery, an incredible career, and game-changing for so many other athletes, not just in baseball, but across all of sports.
Right, but pause on one thing you just said. Look, to play 26 seasons in any professional sport.
I don't care if you're playing ping
ridiculous.
pong.
Right. It's insane. Like show me a guy who has gone to like 6 straight Olympics, right? Like it just does not happen like this where you play 26 years of Major League Baseball. And I actually would love to look it up, like the longest careers in the history, because I think of like a guy like Jamie Moyer. Does that name sound familiar to people?
Yeah, he pitched for 20 years, right? Yeah.
Right. But Tommy John, 26 years of Major League Baseball, but the eras with which he played in, a guy starts in 1963 and ends in 1989. You played in the 60s, the full decade of the 70s and the 80s, and almost the entire decade, of the 80s. That is really, truly remarkable to think about what happened in the world in 1963 versus what was happening in the world in 1989 and everything that happened in between. And this guy played 26 years and is probably more famous because of the surgery's name than his brilliant career. But still, I'm glad you brought this up because that should be mentioned today.
288 career wins, Tommy John, over 26 seasons. But his best years after the surgery.
Over 500 starts in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. But just like, I know Dodger fans, we're focused on a lot of stuff today, but, he was a really important player for them in the 70s and, had enormous moments in the 70s against the Phillies in the playoffs, against the Dodgers, or with the Dodgers, excuse me, and then played against the Dodgers a number of times when he was with the Yankees. So in some really high leverage and important places and important spots. So just, I know that, again, we know the name because of the surgery and most younger people do. Mm-hmm. But if you're a true historian of the game, he was an incredibly impactful player for both the Dodgers and Yankees and really a pioneer because Dr. Jobe and him together, Dr. Jobe committed did the procedure. But, Tommy had to be willing to say, okay, let's just do it. And that was kind of built out of desperation in some ways to do the surgery. But really just if you think about the history of sports, very few people have the legacy he has on the field and both off the field.
Well, explain this. You ready? You've seen guys now in the 2020s that have had multiple Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah.
Now, think about that. You know how, like, a car from the 70s might still be on the road here today, and people say this. They go, they don't build them like that anymore.
Right.
How the hell did Dr. Jobe, first of all, convince Tommy John to try this surgery? Because I guess at that point, Tommy John may have been desperate, like, I'll try anything. But then secondly, how does it last so perfectly for so long that he can go on and have the kind of career that he has? When we have guys now, check me on this. Hey, Berg, hasn't Ohtani had 2 Tommy John surgeries?
Yes, 2.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have.
Right. So think about that.
Well, you know that only 35% of Major League Baseball has had Tommy John?
You say only 35%?
Yeah, I would have thought the number was higher, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. I actually kind of find that to be high as it is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But George, you have Tommy John surgery, the first one ever, and you never miss a start thereafter. With 1970s technology and an experimental, essentially, surgery, how is that possible? And yet now we have guys that have had multiple Tommy John surgeries. Like, how come they don't work as well today as they seem to have worked for the actual Tommy John?
Right.
Fascinating story. Seriously. Amazing.
You know why they called it Tommy John? Obviously because he was the first, but there's more reasons to it. Frank Jobe thought that the actual medical term was way too cumbersome, and people, because it's UCL surgery, we know it now as ulnar collateral ligament surgery. Mm-hmm. People know the medical term now, but he was like, yeah, that's too hard, and everybody just naturally gravitated to Tommy John because he just kept referencing, I did the surgery on Tommy John, so people just went, all right, Tommy John surgery.
Wasn't there also, check me on this, guys, wasn't there also like an underwear brand called Tommy John?
There is an underwear brand called Tommy John. Yeah. I don't like it because it doesn't have like a front door.
No front porch.
I had that problem this past weekend. Chris and I, where were we, Chris, at that
point? We were
point?
at Del Mar.
We were at the racetrack. Both of us went into the debate room. Chris was able to unzip and go through the front porch. Me, unbutton, unzip, undo the belt, pull down. No front porch.
You need a front door.
Yeah.
Colin
No
Cowherd
front door for me. No, I'm not buying.
Cowherd used to talk about Tommy John a lot, the underwear.
Well, apparently he used to not have a front door.
It seems like he's okay with no front door.
I'm okay with it generally, but my Skims were uncomfortable this past Friday for some reason. I had to go home and change my underpants.
9 o'clock hour coming up, our digital hour on ESPN LA, on the app, and on YouTube. The Rich Eisen Show begins terrestrially, and you know what else. It's a new week. Have you thought about your water system?
I get out of the shower, I do a happy dance, and then I suck on the tap.
You want to be free. Whether Johnny I's got a front porch or not on his underwear, he does get out of the shower, and he wiggles it around because he's free. He's not a city water sleazeball no more.
Schifoso.
You can join Ireland and myself and get away from that chlorine, that disgusting city water. Call the LifeSource Whole House Water System, the California factory at 800-WATER-99, or visit LifeSourceWater.com, 800-WATER-99, LifeSourceWater.com. This is a more important appliance in your house than your washer, dryer, or that air fryer you keep sticking chicken in. LifeSource can clean that water, make you feel like a new person. No more city water sleazeball, no more chlorine, no more disgusting city water. 800-WATER-99, LifeSourceWater.com. Be free! Be free, sucker! Fall is almost here, and those kids want clean water before they go to school. 800-WATER-99, LifeSourceWater.com. We love our friends at LifeSource. Taste and feel the difference. Warranty limitations apply.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Waba Grill. It's flavorful.
Pick me up and never put me down.
It's quality. It's fresh. It's spicy. Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. A spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed in fiery chili crisp. Get yours now, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
The Circa Million Pro Football Challenge is back. The greatest football contest in the world, coming straight at you from the greatest sports destination in the world, Circa Las Vegas. A guaranteed $6 million is up for grabs, with a cool mill and the coveted blue jacket going to the winner. And hey, if you suck, no prob. Come in last, and $100,000 is coming your way. It's $1,000 per entry, max 10 entries per person. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. Learn more at circasports.com. Circa Las Vegas, the time of your life.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi guys, it's Ramona Shelburne for Hyundai of Glendale, where it's back to school savings all month long. Right now, lease a brand new 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE for $279 a month. Comes with owner's assurance and America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Take it from me, with next level customer service and incredible dealer incentives, your next Hyundai is waiting for you at Hyundai of Glendale. Call 818-222-8000 or check them out at HyundaiofGlendale.net.
$279 per month plus tax. Plus at least for 24 months. $47.49 totals due on signing. Plus government fees and taxes. Unapproved above average credit through HMF. 7,500 miles per year. 20 cents per excess miles. Expires 8/30/26. Shh, here it comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money, getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on the air.
Ball currently on the 2. It's a third down attempt here. Ty Simpson lasers one right to the middle of the end zone. It's the second touchdown for Dean Connors. Have yourself a day, my friend.
I definitely felt more comfortable than I ever had in a game, but I also didn't know what to expect. First NFL game, first live NFL, against NFL teams. But once that first drive kind of, got done with, I was like, all right, this is just like playing in the backyard in Martin. But guys did a great job. So happy for our team, and on to next week.
I thought he took what the defense gave him. I thought he read the plays out, read with his feet. I thought he did a really good job overall. And I thought even on some of the keepers where maybe the primary isn't there, he attacks with the ball up. Even on the first one that he had where he ends up finding Max Clare on kind of the late down flat, but hit a couple low crossing routes. And I thought he kept the ball in play. That's the biggest thing is keeping the ball in play. There was one situation that we'll have a great learning op on a third down where, they kind of played a man coverage. We ended up throwing it to the flat to Max Clare. I got to see. I think the pocket might have allowed him to be able to progress, but otherwise it was a really good day for him. He just felt like he was in good command, and it was cool to see a good smile on his face.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history. George Sedano, Scott Kaplan. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Yeah, I don't think people like being called hacks.
You're the widow on the radio.
Giant Mexican, horn section.
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
Give me a freaking break.
I'm reacting to Art Bell.
Yeah.
Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, you want to woo-woo?
Bit Boy.
Right now.
Monstrous. Beto, I don't want to eat that.
We did it, Dad. We did it. You were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time.
So,
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
So, girls, stay tuned.
And it was cool to see a good smile on his face.
And good morning. 9:02 and 30 seconds. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on your Monday, the 17th of August, 2026. You heard it there. Ty Simpson's debut over the weekend in a Rams jersey. Game 2 of the preseason for the Rams this Saturday at SoFi, hosting the New Orleans Saints. And on the call Saturday will be the one and only George Sedano.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Meanwhile, Bergie has had to defend his Dodgers all morning long.
Not a lot to defend right now. They're going to be fine. I think they're still going to. I still believe they will win the World Series, but at the same time, it's hard to do, and they're just in a rut.
If they get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, do I break a bobblehead again?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
What if I get my hands on a Kyle Tucker bobblehead?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that would be good.
I think Cappy would like that.
Well, Bergie, you've compared Kyle Tucker to Michael Conforto.
Yeah, because that's the most recent comparison.
Yeah, but this is a guy you can't get rid of. Like you could get rid of Conforto last year.
That was a 1 year, was something like $16 million, $17 million. This is 4 years and at $60 million a year.
Yeah.
Where he has his own opt-ins, opt-outs.
Let me ask you guys a quick question here. Because, George, you brought up at the end of the radio hour, you brought up Tommy John. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious because Bergie's talking Dodgers, and we haven't really talked any Lakers today. Are you guys all following, like now, is it part of your follow the whole Mark Walter story and the sale of the Lakers and people's analysis as to why?
I've been keeping an eye on it, sure.
Yeah, I even listened to a podcast last night. It was probably like 15 or 20 minutes with Pablo Torre. And it wasn't like a typical Pablo Torre, I'm going to blow the roof off this thing because I've got information that nobody else has. It was really just a conversation of analysis of what a lot of us have been talking about over these last few days. And it's a very the more I kind of read about it, it's a very, very complicated situation. But if I could try and simplify it, because people have asked me, like, what's the story with the guy who just sold the Lakers? I'm like, here's how I'm trying to simplify it for people. Tell me if you guys have another way. Very simply put, he's got these insurance companies, and people pay money for insurance policies. And the reason you pay that money is so, God forbid, one day something happens, you have to put in an insurance claim, and the insurance company has plenty of money to pay you the money that they owe you, right? Mm-hmm. God forbid you lose your house in a situation, and you put in a claim, and hopefully the insurance company has the money. You get into a car accident, whatever. What it sounds like, and I'm reading a lot of sports writers who are trying to cover this story, and these are people who understand sports. They may not necessarily spend more of their time watching CNBC than they do ESPN, but they're trying to report the news. My understanding is simply this, that Walter took in all this money, or his companies took in all this money from people who are buying insurance. He then took that money that is really supposed to be dedicated and sitting off to the side in case it's needed, and essentially he took that money and bought stuff like maybe the Lakers, or maybe even previously the Dodgers, when the Dodgers were only a $2 billion purchase. So in other words, you paid your money to the insurance company because you knew that someday, God forbid, you might need it, and the insurance company better be liquid so that they can pay you. But there's the possibility that maybe they wouldn't be liquid because the accusation is that the money was taken from the insured, the people paying for the insurance, and it was moved and used so that an entity or an individual can buy an organization. Do you guys, I'm trying to simplify this. Did that work?
Yes.
I got a yes. I didn't get a.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated situation. I think you've simplified it as best you can. Sure.
Okay, so everybody's still following all of this. I just want to make sure that we're not like this situation happened, the Lakers got sold, that's the end of it, story's over. To me, it's still a very interesting story.
Because I think it still affects the Dodgers and the Sparks and all these other organizations he's a part of.
I think so too. That's why I'm following this story now. Whereas previous to the Lakers being sold, if I'm being really honest about it, I had kind of my blinders on, like, that's a story I don't really care that much about. It's big business. It's moving money. I don't really care that much about it. But when the Lakers were sold, that sort of changed the whole thing for me because now I became that much more interested. So just checking in on everybody here. That's all. As you were, gentlemen. As you were.
As you were.
Back to you.
Yeah, look, I think this is going to be a really this is going to be a story that's going to have a slow drip to it, right? It's like a faucet that is not just going to overflow. It's going to take time. And little by little, this thing is going to eventually get to a point where we're going to have more and more information. And we talked about this in real time, that these reporters, whether it's Pablo or people, you don't think people at ESPN are on this thing too? You know what I'm saying? Like, and every other news outlet, The Athletic, whatever, like, they're all trying to figure out what this means moving forward, because it's going to affect another major or multiple major sports franchises for the Los Angeles area, potentially.
Yeah, I think if we get deeper into this story and we find out that there were some improprieties going on here, is it conceivable that you're like, wait a second, I took $20 billion from all of these insurance people and I moved it over here, and thank goodness we haven't needed to pay out all this money. So is it conceivable that ultimately the Dodgers, who were bought for $2 billion and change, which right now could be sold for $10 billion, maybe more, maybe 12, maybe more, is it conceivable that he needs to eventually sell the Dodgers to make up the cash that has to go back to where it's supposed to be? I don't know. But what I do know is this, is that billionaires with multiple big businesses are seemingly always moving money from one place to another. Hey, there's debt over here, but there's profit over here. Let's move money from this place to that place. And then, by the way, when we move money, we no longer have money over here, so we got to fire a whole bunch of people, and people lose their jobs and so on. And so the little guy, the guy down here at this level, the street level, could potentially get screwed because rich guys at the much higher level are just moving money all around. And when you move money from one place to another, all of a sudden you may not have money for this business and people lose their jobs. So I'm just now, Bergie, I don't know about you. I'm just more interested in this Mark Walters story because I still think we're not so done with the Dodgers. As much as everybody went to Dodger Stadium that day of the Lakers sale last Wednesday, and they asked everybody at the Dodgers, what's going to happen here? Everybody, this has nothing to do with us. This is a Lakers story. Got nothing to do with us. Well, that's the smart company line. That's the smart PR.
Yeah,
move.
agreed. I don't think that I actually buy that that's the case.
I think Stan Kasten left out the most important two words, for now, because that's what it is. It's for now.
I would agree. I would.
So, I have questions about how this will affect the Lakers this season.
Oh, okay. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So it takes a little while, right? It takes a little while for a sale to go through. What, 3-4 months for it to fully go through?
Oh, well, yeah. He's got to wait till he doesn't have 366 days or whatever it is until he doesn't have to pay all the maximum capital gains for sure.
Right. So then that means that he's still in charge of the team until Walter's still in charge
until
of the
the
team.
sale is official. Yes.
So you're going to start the season with Mark Walter as the owner still, and then at some point like November or December, that's when this will happen.
Probably, yes.
Okay. So with Shohei has a relationship with
although
Mark.
it could happen. You know, I don't remember the exact date that it was consummated, but it was in October, so it could happen right before the season.
Okay, so it could happen. Okay. So they could start the season. Either way, Shohei had a relationship with Mark Walter. Mark Walter and he were on the same page. He's in the contract that if he leaves, then Shohei can leave as well. They have an understanding. I'm going to take all this money, less money, so that you can go out and go get me guys. How much of Luka's relationship does he have with Mark Walter?
It doesn't seem like there's like this incredible relationship. I mean, Luka's already kind of stated like, hey, it is what it is. You know, the funny part of the comment was and I'm paraphrasing, like, hey, I've been through a lot of big changes lately,
right.
So it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Right, but he sat down with Mark Walter.
Well, he went to the Backstreet Boys concert.
Yeah, went to the Backstreet Boys. They had a conversation about basically what he would want, what he would need, how they were going to do things. And then now it's somebody else, and who I would assume they have no relationship with Luka. Correct?
You're talking about Bob Iger.
I don't know if Bob Iger doesn't have a
Josh
relationship
Kushner.
with Luka Doncic. I don't know the answer to that question.
So how important do you think, and Cappy, I'd love to hear what you think too about this, is it how important do you think that relationship is?
I will say this, quick pause. LeBron certainly had a relationship with Bob Iger. And, I think I thought I saw something this weekend where somebody asked someone in LeBron's camp if that would have changed things, and he said perhaps.
Well, it's certainly a possibility that if Bob Iger owned the Lakers a year ago, that if there is a relationship, I don't know what it is, maybe you do, what the Iger-LeBron relationship might be. That
well, I mean, they've done a lot of projects with Maverick in the past.
Okay. I'm just not that familiar. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, though, is that if there was a relationship, and presuming that there is, that Bob Iger, as owner, might have said, hey, look, we think LeBron's a really important part of what we're doing here, versus what Mark Walter's team decided, which was it's time to let LeBron walk away. It's time for us to start building around Luka. It's time for us to get what Luka needs, not what LeBron wants. And so it is, Bergie, to your point, it is totally conceivable to think that if there's this relationship, a strong relationship, a business relationship, as George is talking about, between what Bob Iger was at Disney and what LeBron James's production company is, that business relationship could have maybe kept LeBron around longer.
Could have, but now we're in the Luka era, and I think myself and a lot of Laker fans out there are happy that we are just having something new.
Well, okay. Well, I mean,
but
the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
You're right. But at this moment, he is gone. He's in Philadelphia. That's just how it is. So we have to focus on what's happening now. So I'm worried. I'm not worried. I'm just thinking about the relationship between Luka, who is now the star.
Honestly, I think some of that stuff is kind of overstated. Like, I'm sure Luka had a lot. Luka learned the hard lesson of when he was surprised when Mark Cuban. So now he had an actual relationship with Mark Cuban, like a deep relationship. He drafted him. Mark is very close with his stars, and much like he was with Dirk. I think that's a little different. I think Luka and his team, who are very sharp, understand this is just business.
Okay, so let's talk about when he goes. So when Bob Iger and Josh Kushner do come in, Mark Walter, when he came in, he made wholesale changes. They got rid of like 20 to 60 people. I don't know the exact number.
It was
I
like
think last week we talked
like,
it was 70.
70 people. So now when they come in, Iger and Kushner, are they going to change up everything in this front office?
Well, I don't know about change up everything. Like, I think that they're going to make some changes. Now, perhaps they don't right away. Like, I'm sure everyone is going to be evaluated no differently. But the Lakers are running leaner than they used to because but remember, those changes were made because they were going to merge some of the duplication from the Dodgers organization.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now I would imagine some of those jobs may come back.
Well, yeah, I feel so bad for people who worked for the Lakers for a long time and had these great jobs and they were so proud of working for the Lakers, and new ownership comes in. And, listen, we talk about this all the time. A new general manager comes into a football team and they fire the coach. And you say, well, why would they do that? And you go, well, he's got to have his own guy. Right. So that's what happened is the Dodgers came in, took over the Lakers, and you mentioned it. There's duplication of jobs. So we don't need all these people at the Lakers because we have these people at the Dodgers, and typical of corporate America, ask people to do more, don't pay them more, just ask them to do more. That's corporate America. And so now all these people that are sitting there going, I worked for the Lakers for 15 years. I loved working for the Lakers. I was so proud of it. They got rid of me because they said they didn't need me. But that was an ownership group that never even saw the start of a season. So I feel really bad for a lot of those people. And I wonder if any of those people are going to get their jobs back because now the Lakers are like, well, we don't have an assistant this or that or this or that, but we need it because the Dodgers had it, but we don't have anything to do with the Dodgers anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's a wild story. It
I have
really
a question.
is.
Have you guys seen the 30 for 30 on John Spano, the guy who bought the Islanders?
I've not seen that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I saw it once when it came out. Yeah, because the dude from Entourage, Entourage was the director,
Kevin
producer. Producer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's really because John Spano he didn't. It's not that he didn't have any money. He just had great connections. Was basically able to convince everybody he was going to buy the Islanders, and he was actually able to convince banks to give him loans. And he was probably like 2 weeks from pulling it off with a TV deal. And what ended up happening was the fraud was blown open. Gary Bettman had to pull away. The guy went to jail for fraud, and I think he went to jail again for fraud later on in life. But the point is he was able to almost pull it off, and he convinced everybody because of his connections, of who he knew. He was able to convince everybody, and the Islanders were so desperate to get bought by somebody who cared and was going to bring back, the arena and everything. Is there at any point where somebody goes, hey, why didn't the NBA do their due diligence if this is that Mark Walter was committing fraud?
Well, I don't think anyone knew. I mean, look, the NBA is going to do the way leagues do their due diligence, to use that phrase, is they check to see, okay, like, is there any. Now, at that time, there was no allegations of criminal activity, okay? And they check the finances if they're in place. And that's it. I shouldn't say that's it. That's generally the basics of it, okay? And that's, unfortunately, at that time, that was not something that was readily available to anyone.
Well, the other thing is, and this was brought up yesterday in this podcast I was watching and listening to with Pablo Torre, and I remember this a little bit when Mark Walter first bought the Lakers. But again, I admit this to you guys. Sometimes there are stories where I just put my blinders on and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. It's too complicated, or it's not that interesting to me. When Walter bought the Lakers for $10 billion, there were, according to some reporting, people who were like, wow, I didn't realize this guy had this kind of cash. Because remember, George, the Dodgers were purchased for a little bit over $2 billion. This is not today where the Dodgers might be purchased for $10 billion. This is back then where they were bought for $2 billion. And I do remember that there was the Middle East sovereign wealth Abu Dhabi capital that was brought into this. And it, again, to me, it just sort of went in one ear and out the other. Like, hey, Mark Walter owns the Dodgers, is buying the Lakers. Okay, that's the story. But there was more to the story, as in, where did all this money come from? And in the case of the Lakers, again, some reporting would tell you that he was partnering, it's probably the best word I could use, with Abu Dhabi's money. And I say Abu Dhabi as if he's a person. It's like this fund that came from the Middle East. So, again, I'm not an expert in all of this. I don't know every last detail of it all. But here's what I would say. If you're skeptical, you think to yourself, wait a second, here's a guy bought the Lakers for $10 billion, sold them for $12.5 in less than a year. He's got these allegations about moving money around from insurance companies that maybe he used to buy this team. And he's also got this backing of this Abu Dhabi capital. Like, all of a sudden, when you start putting those things together, even without the details, you start kind of sniffing around going, something doesn't smell right here. So I guess my point ultimately is, now I'm watching. Now I'm interested. You got me. You got a nice scandal going on here, or at least it looks scandalous. How about that? Big money, pro sports, billions of dollars, Middle Eastern money coming in. Now you got my attention. So very compelling, everybody.
Yeah,
but I wondered where you guys all were.
Yeah, I'm just monitoring is what I would say.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. Just kind of monitoring, like seeing what else leads, where this leads to. Right?
Well, I will admit this. I will admit this to you, George. While I'm now into the Mark Walter story and I want more information and I hope that Pablo Torre blows this whole thing off so that I can just watch him and listen to him and then know what was going on rather than having to do all that work myself, I'm a little bit more invested in the new season of Reacher. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Because Reacher, George, 8-episode season 4, they dropped the first 3 episodes last week, and then they kill you because then they just give you 1 episode a week for the next 5 weeks. I pounded down those first 3 episodes of Reacher this weekend. Oh, my God. If you are like me and you are a Reacher fan, you got to watch the new season of Reacher. And listen, this guy, Alan Richson, I think is how you say his name, the guy who plays Reacher, this guy is like 6'5", 250, just massive. I mean, this guy looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was winning Mr. Universe competitions, like Lou Ferrigno back in the old school days of bodybuilding. He is so freaking gigantic and ripped. And then there was that sexy scene in episode 3 with the journalist. Anyway, I don't want to blow the story for you guys, but man, Reacher, three episodes in, George. Anybody here going to watch Reacher with me?
No.
Come on.
I would be open to it, but now I got Game of Thrones on the docket.
Oh, so you're going back to the beginning.
Well, I never have watched any of it. So
right, you're going to the start. So that's going to take you about, 5 years or so to catch up?
Probably because it's football season, and I'll only watch it with Stephanie, so because she wants me to watch it. So it'll be a slow draw.
Yeah, my problem is I'm going to have to go back and watch Reacher episodes 1, 2, and 3 again because I watched them all without Rachel, and she's going to be pissed. She's going to find out.
I'm sure she loves Reacher.
Oh, she loves Reacher. She does. I mean, listen, even I watch Reacher, and I'm like, this guy is so freaking hot. Anyway, that's my deal. I'm watching
You haven't
Reacher.
watched House of the Dragon, though.
Have not yet watched House of the Dragon. We'll watch it. We'll get there.
I mean, it's literally, Greg, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic.
He stepped out for a bit.
Oh. It's the best season of the 3 seasons of House of the Dragon, and you have not watched it.
Not yet. Watched episode 1, got confused. I moved back to World War II documentaries. Finally got through it, all 20 episodes.
Yeah, I just don't think you're
going
to watch it.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to spite you. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to do it to prove to you that I do it.
Rachel's going to want to watch Reacher, and then she's going to want to watch like a rom-com, and then something will come up.
He's going to start
your kid will fall asleep on another plane and then not make it to the city they think they're making
I would just say
to.
this, George. You should hang out with us one night when cocktails are flowing, because about an hour in, I mean, she just starts swinging. Not literally, but just a lot of shots at Cappy. You would enjoy it.
You're saying Rachel's taking a lot of shots at me once you put a little bit of booze inside of her.
I mean, from the Reacher stuff to the life-size pool you tried to buy, to the ex-wife, to, I mean, all of this just starts flying.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But there was also lovely moments at the concert where they were dancing and canoodling. It was nice. But it's a wide variety throughout the night.
George, I will say this, and Chris, I'd love to hear what you think.
The kids, we're going to have to buy another house for all of Cappy's kids, like all kinds of stuff. And Cappy just ignores it. I applaud it because I almost took the bait for him.
George, you have no idea. Friday, you missed such a time, and we would have loved to have had you.
Yeah.
Give it up to Morales. Seriously. This guy, this brother right here, got into a car. I don't want to tell you what it cost him to get a car service to drive him in a black SUV from L.A. to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Gets in, gets out of the van, comes into the house, does a couple of things, no big deal, and then we're off for the day. And, George, we took, I don't know, Chris, what do we have, 5 guys from Yachtly Crew?
6.
Yeah, we had Rob and Chaz, and then their new lead singer, Ian George. The new lead singer of Yachtly Crew is a 30-year-old kid.
And Rachel was very excited that he was only 30 years old, if I may say so.
Yes.
She mentioned that a few times, too.
I mean, this guy, he is unbelievable. Ian is their lead singer, and he was incredible. And so we had me, Chris, Stephanie, the band Yachtly Crew, their manager, Andy. And, dude, I was herding these guys around like sheep all day, moving them from the paddock to the winner's circle, back to the paddock. Then they handed out a trophy in the next race. Then we went up to the suite. Everybody's eating and drinking. By the way, Chris, I don't know if you know this or not. Our trainer, Doug O'Neill, the guy who you talked horse fawns with, Dougie took care of that whole afternoon, by the way. I mean, very, very generous of Doug O'Neill. But, George, we got done at the races, got the band back to where they needed to go for a sound check, and then, I don't know, we got to the concert at like 7:30, 7:45, so we could go backstage before the show, hug it out, take some pics, whatever, and then these guys tore it to shreds. And, Chris, how cool was it? We're out to dinner. People are wearing their captain's hats at the tables next to us because everybody was really excited about these guys. And everywhere we went inside the racetrack, every time we were in an elevator or we were in the paddock area, people were coming up to him, wanting to talk to him. They had a lot of fans that just all wanted to see him. So hanging with Yachtly Crew on Friday and showing them a good time, they freaking loved it. And little did we know, Chris, that Ian, the lead singer, was going to be so into the horses the way he was.
Yeah, like this kid grew up in that area, George, and he was so excited to see the horses. Like, it was amazing to watch him so excited. Cappy was like a hero to him. Yeah, this kid loves horse fawns.
It was a great day, man. Friday was incredible.
And Rob said something that I want to share with George, because we were talking about the past when Yachtly Crew first started coming on the show. And, you know, Cappy and I are very into the music and stuff, but it's not Sedano's favorite genre. We've been over that. But Sedano's,
it's okay. Like, it's just not something I want to seek out.
Hold
like,
on,
if someone's playing it,
Yeah.
I'm good.
But Sedano's always been supportive of the band coming in and letting us do our
I have
thing.
the T-shirts.
Yeah. And Rob kind of teared up. And, Cappy, you had walked away to deal with the trainer or one of your rich friends. I don't know. But he was talking about how the band, I mean, they have sold out Newport Beach on Friday night. Saturday in Burbank, which Stephanie and I are going to that show this Saturday at the Starlight Bowl. And that's where it all began for Stephanie and I 3 years ago with Bergie at that concert in 2023. Like, the growth of this band, they're doing like 5 international tours every year now. And they give a lot of credit to ESPN LA and Sedano and Cap and back the old afternoon show. And now they're doing December 11th at the Wiltern. And we'll be all about that show, promoting it here and giving away tickets on ESPN LA. So it's tremendous to see a band from Southern California have such great success. And we're a little bit of part of that, of talking about them, having them in studio. And really, here's the other thing, Sedano, and you know how this business is. There's a lot of miscreants and a lot of scumbags in this business. But these guys are really just genuinely nice guys.
Well,
and it's great.
These guys were rockers. You know, Rob and Chaz, the two guys who run the band, these guys were rockers. They wanted to be rock stars. And they kind of fell into this genre of music, and then they fell into the costumes and the dance moves. And before you know it, because there are a lot of bands out there playing yacht rock, and there are even now festivals, yacht rock festivals. But these guys are the number one international band for this genre of music, and they got to ride this wave for as long as they can. And they're probably right in the middle of it. I said this the other night, Chris. Getting this new lead singer has just added 5 years of life to the band because you got this youthful energy. Plus, this kid, George, you could not have picked a better kid because this kid was a theater kid. He grew up, in the Old Globe Theater down in San Diego and the La Jolla Playhouse, which is a famous place where they start shows and they build them and they score them and they write them and then they staff them, et cetera, and then they go on to Broadway. And this kid in high school was already, acting and singing in those kinds of Broadway musicals. He's like the perfect kid to take over the front of this band, 30 years old. I was blown away by the whole thing.
That's great.
Yeah. We missed you, though, pal. Let me tell you something. Next time we do something like this, we're going to kidnap you and bring you down. We're not going to let you tell us no. We're bringing you with us.
I had a busy weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Last Little League summer ball game. Then we had, Arya had a party here with her friends, and we had some of the parents over on Saturday. This was right after the Little League game, shortly thereafter. Sunday we had flag football tryouts in the morning, then the Angels game. It was just a busy weekend.
Angels game looked fun.
Yeah, what was the inspiration behind? Because it kind of reminded me when I saw your story and I think I've told this on the air, like, we were big Dodger fans growing up. We had Dodgers tickets, but often, because we were in Whittier, we weren't in Orange County just yet, my dad would be like on a Sunday, hey, let's go to the Angels game today. And we would just go randomly.
Yeah.
And it reminded me seeing you and Mateo in that picture. It kind of brought me back to when my dad and I would just go on a Sunday because there was an Angels game, and why not?
Yeah, it was very much that. And he likes Mike Trout, and I figured, like, the reality. I mean, he's a kid for a 7-year-old, a pretty good baseball historian. And like he really thinks Mike Trout, like, he's right. Like, he's one of the best players like ever, right? Like he's a legend. And I'm thinking to myself, he's 35 years old. You're probably not going to be able to see him very much. Now, he didn't have a very good game yesterday. He was the DH yesterday, but I figured, you know what? The kid likes Mike Trout. He likes following baseball. He watches old baseball. Let's go watch Mike Trout for a few innings.
Yeah, first time in Angel Stadium for him?
Yes.
Really? That's cool.
What would you estimate the crowd was yesterday? Because I will say this. Because let me just say this.
Plenty of great seats available is what I would say.
But listen, it's a Sunday afternoon.
1 o'clock.
It's hot out, right?
Yeah.
Because
I did the right thing. I scout these stadiums pretty well. Now, the Milwaukee one, I didn't do a great job because, I mean, those tickets were given to me by our good friends at Good Karma. So, you're not going to complain about free tickets. But they were in the only area that had, like, sun in the entire stadium. But because that one is like half of a roof. But here I did my due diligence. Basically, if you're going to be third base side, is where the shade starts to come in for a day game. But row Z is the one in the 100 level. You're golden. So it's the last row of the 100 level. And, 100, 200 are right there. There's just a walkway that separates it. And the prices are basically the same anyway. So we did that, and I got row Z. So we had shade the whole game. And then it creeped up every couple minutes. Like, there'd be one more row in front of us that would have shade.
Smart. Because
Did
I'll
you get
tell you
the
this.
cookies outside? What's the cookie brand? Carrie's
The
Cookies?
cookie place. He didn't want the cookies.
Oh,
We
really?
went with a milkshake instead.
Milkshake sounds good. You know me. I love a good milkshake, especially one it's about $20 worth, right? Like 9 scoops of ice cream.
It was like honestly, I would say this. So it's funny because I got one of those, you get like those like surveys when you go a place, right? And I rarely respond, but I responded to this one. And I gave great detail, I thought, even in the written part of it. I thought the milkshake was good. And it was affordable. It was like $8 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the burger was weak. It didn't taste like anything. It was dressed up fantastically. Thousand Island dressing, lettuce, tomato, the whole deal. You can get some ketchup and mustard if you want. The fries, I thought, were pretty good. The burger was not good. Hot dog was okay at best. I wouldn't even say okay. And I just feel like, and they're not alone. I just feel like stadium food for the most part, not great, Jack. Like, There's just, like, the best stadium food in Southern California to me is LAFC, and it's not even close, to be honest with you.
Although we did, Christopher, have quite a tasty burger on Friday at Del Mar. And I said to everybody, I go, if you guys are going to order food, the best thing on the menu is the burger. Pretty damn good.
It was good. By the way, Geeter, the Golden Schwanz, is now in the YouTube chat.
I see that.
Oh, nice.
And don't forget,
but yeah, I was a little disappointed with the food. The prices are incredibly affordable, though.
Oh, yeah, man.
So, I mean, first of all,
Angels games, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the prices are incredibly affordable for a family across the board, whether it's the food or whether it was the tickets or the parking.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I bought parking, like premier parking, like right basically up to the gate of the stadium for less than what the general parking was on the day of the game. So, and the food prices are very affordable. I just don't love the quality of stadium food. Like, I never felt like it was great, but I feel like it's so subpar now, and this is every stadium for the most part. I would say the same thing about crypto. I don't think the food there is very good either, unless you're in one of those fancy places. But like the regular concessions,
Jacob Imrani's suite. Jacob Imrani, he got that nice sushi.
Right, but like the concessions, not good. I would say for the most part. Same at Dodger Stadium, like not great either. Like, I don't think there's a lot of great food options at Dodger Stadium that I'm like, wow, that was fantastic. I think
Chris. Those blue tacos, though, you're going to be upset.
The tacos are fine, but...
And again, I'm talking about regular concessions. I'm not talking about, like, fancy, like, club, like when we go with...
It's on the Woj level, but still, you're right.
When we went to, like, with Hernandez Brothers, that food is good, because you're in the Lexus Club or whatever. I'm talking about regular concessions. I know that behind home plate, they've got, like, some Asian offerings. They're okay. You know what I mean? Like, not great at Dodger Stadium. The center field stuff is pretty solid. Also not great. But yeah, like, I just think stadium food is not very good. Honestly, except LAFC. LAFC, every time I've gone there, the food and the concessions are freaking fantastic.
Yeah, they got that nice torta at LAFC.
And the
really
chicken
good one.
sandwich is humongous and delicious.
I really want
Where's
a
the
Philly
Asian stuff
cheesesteak.
at Dodger Stadium? Oh, it's
Behind home plate.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
the Shouts Out Grill?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's where you can get it, I guess.
I didn't know if that's what
I don't
they call
know.
it, the
I'm not
Shouts
really
Out
sure.
Grill, yeah.
I'm not really positive about that.
Come on,
I
Bergie.
don't really know.
But yeah, so I just, so I wrote a very detailed note. And you know what I really enjoyed at Angel Stadium? I thought the employees were incredibly nice and helpful.
Oh, they are.
No matter what
Yes.
it is you
Yeah,
need.
yeah, they are. They are.
Hey, listen, they've done the best job they can do with that stadium to make it clean, even though I know earlier in the season there were a lot of people complaining about vermin. Nonetheless, I mean, you walk around and you walk through the hallways there, you go, wow, listen, it's an old stadium. It used to be a multi-use stadium. The Rams used to play here back in the day when the baseball dirt was still out on the field, and they've done a good enough job of making it as best they can, given how the age of the stadium. But I'll say this. You don't expect a big crowd for an Angels game on a Sunday afternoon.
Especially against the Royals.
Right.
Like,
but,
they're playing the Yankees in a couple weeks. There'll be a ton of people there for that.
But just look at Dodger Stadium yesterday. Dodger Stadium, it's Sunday afternoon. You're playing against the Brewers. You've lost 2 out of 3, but you're playing against a team that you might face in the postseason, a team that is a perennial playoff team, a championship contender, and yet yesterday at Dodger Stadium looked kind of empty. Now, I'll grant you, it's hot out.
Yeah, it's hot.
Expensive,
Yeah.
but still,
Kyle
looked pretty
Tucker's
empty.
dropping balls in the outfield. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Or not getting to balls that Freddie Freeman has to leave first base and over his back, look in the other direction. Freddie Freeman makes this spectacular play, this great catch, and Kyle Tucker's running at it. And honestly, he should have been able to get to that ball. And the fact that Freddie Freeman could get to that ball and Kyle Tucker can't, I've been complaining about his range all season long. That was another example. I thought that should have been Tucker's ball.
By the way, we have, I wouldn't call it breaking because it broke like 30 minutes ago, but let's just call it for now, for argument's sake, breaking news.
All right, stand by.
Standing.
I hit something, Judge, last time.
The AP poll is out now for college football, Cappy. The first AP poll of the season. Where do you think USC is? Now, they were 14 in the coaches poll.
Yep. I probably would give them maybe in the neighborhood of like 12 to 16 because, 14's right in the middle. But, yeah, like right in there.
15, yeah.
15. Yeah. Okay. Now, George, this is highly unusual, but I can't help myself. When it comes to preseason college football,
hate them.
You hate
I
who?
hate the preseason poll.
All right, we got one more breaking news. This one's pretty important. Hold on. Let's go to our breaking news desk and Gregory Arthur Bergman.
Chelsea shareholders Mark Walter and Todd Bowley in talks to sell their stakes to Clear Lake.
Oh, boy.
To Clear Lake?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Clear Lake is, but that's what. So they're selling Chelsea FC. Their shares in Chelsea FC.
Breaking news on ESPN LA.
And that was the one, by the way, that people thought they'd least be likely to sell.
I think that's worth $4.4 to $5 billion.
It's
He's
starting
in
to
some trouble,
shake.
so it sounds
it's starting to shake, Jack.
Sounds like he's in some trouble, like financial trouble.
Thank you. Breaking news on
Yeah.
ESPN LA. Brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a location near you.
I mean, that if you look,
It's Clear Lake Capital, by the way.
Maybe we could do a little
I love
research
these
into who they
capital
are.
name companies.
Right, right.
Wait,
we're all
we have
supposed to know
more
who they are.
breaking news.
Oh,
Wait.
hold on.
Wait a second.
Let's go
Don
back to the
Van
breaking
Natta,
news.
Baxter Holmes, Ramona Shelburne. Sources, NBA has no evidence Steve Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors.
I mean, really?
Come on.
Wow.
Of course this was going to happen.
Wow. Wait, just say that one more time.
Don Van Natta is like one of them. Like the guy's won every award possible as an investigative journalist.
Right. You don't want that guy anywhere near your business.
Right. You think Pablo's bad? This guy.
Yeah.
He says sources. NBA. I'll just read this. It's just easier to just do it this way. Hold on. Give me a second.
Stand by.
Standing.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
3-2.
Sources. NBA has found no evidence Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors. The NBA, this is from Don Van Natta Jr., Baxter Holmes, and Ramona Shelburne reporting. The NBA has no evidence showing LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through the team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap, according to 3 people with knowledge of the discussions between the two sides in recent days. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to the team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. So it's nuanced. They haven't found that Ballmer directly gave money, but they are investigating the way that he was introduced to them. Now, that's semantics, but it's an important detail, is what I would say. Okay?
Not surprising.
Constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention, 2 of the sources said. The league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of, quote, failure to supervise employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what penalties would be, 2 of the sources said. The 11-month investigation into salary cap circumvention allegations expanded beyond Leonard's deal with Aspiration, the now defunct green banking company at the center of the allegations, to at least 3 other companies that also had deals with the Clippers. 2 of the sources familiar with the talks told ESPN. However, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Leonard.
There you go.
The league presented initial findings of its investigation, led by law firm Wachtell, Lipton, Rosen, and Katz, to the Clippers in late July, according to multiple people familiar with the matter. In recent days, both sides have been negotiating a resolution to the investigation. The sources said, those talks, led by attorney David N. Kelly of law firm O'Melveny and Myers for Ballmer and the Clippers, and NBA General Counsel Rick Buchanan, at times have been spirited, one source said, which means that there was probably yelling at each other there. A spokesman for the NBA did not respond to multiple requests for comment. A spokesman for the Clippers declined to answer questions about the nature or content of the NBA's initial findings or the ongoing discussions. But in a statement provided to ESPN, the Clippers said the team, quote, introduced players, including Kawhi Leonard, to companies with which we had business relationships. Making introductions between players and team partners is both an ordinary practice by NBA teams and a common request of players and representatives. The statement also said the team did not negotiate or dictate the terms of Leonard's endorsement deals. The fact that a player has an endorsement relationship with a company that also does business with his team is not evidence of salary cap circumvention, according to the statement. The NBA's investigation began after a September 2025 report from podcaster Pablo Torre that cited internal documents showing Ballmer invested $50 million in Aspiration through his personal LLC back in September of 2021. That month, the Clippers also signed a $300 million deal with Aspiration, making the company the first founding partner of the Intuit Dome. In 2022, Aspiration signed a $28 million endorsement deal with Leonard. An unnamed employee who purportedly worked for the banking company told Torre that Leonard's sponsorship deal was to circumvent the salary cap. Okay, and the report characterized the contract as a no-show job. Ballmer made an additional $10 million investment into Aspiration back in 2023. The league's investigation examined deals with companies including Daktronics and Boingo Wireless, which was a wireless provider for the Intuit Dome, sources familiar with the inquiry said. Earlier this month, Torre reported that Leonard had a previously undisclosed sponsorship agreement allegedly worth millions of dollars with Daktronics, the South Dakota-based company that designed the Clippers video board inside the Intuit Dome. But like Aspiration, there's no evidence that Ballmer funneled money through those companies. And in the recent discussions, the league has only focused on those companies in the context of introducing them to Leonard and his representatives, sources said. A spokesperson for Boingo Wireless did not respond to a request for comment. A spokesperson for Daktronics declined to comment on anything related to Leonard or the Clippers. Over the past 11 months, the Clippers and Ballmers have maintained that they had no involvement in Leonard's deals with Aspiration and have denied allegations they broke league rules. The day after Torre's report, Ballmer told ESPN that Aspiration asked to be introduced to Leonard and that the team made the introduction in November of 21. He said, quote, he eventually learned that he had reached a deal and denied he directed the company to strike one. Quote, salary cap circumvention rules are important to the league, and I want the league to investigate, Ballmer told ESPN at the time. Shortly after the allegations arose, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said it's up to the NBA to prove wrongdoing during the investigation. I'd be reluctant to act if there was sort of a mere appearance of impropriety. I think that the goal of a full investigation is to find out if there really was impropriety. Ballmer has insisted repeatedly in conversations with confidants that he will not accept a league result that asserts he or them intended to circumvent the salary cap and would instead bring the matter to arbitration, according to multiple sources with knowledge of his thinking. However, the conversations between Kelly and Buchanan are ongoing, and it's unclear what punishment Ballmer or the team might be willing to accept, or if they choose to fight findings through arbitration. So this is not over. A finding of salary cap circumvention would constitute a violation of the collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and the Players Association. All such parties, including the Clippers and the union, must agree on the findings on any discipline. ESPN reported last month the sources close to the NBA said that the union wouldn't hesitate to take the matter to arbitration if the NBA sought penalties without sufficient evidence. Two sources familiar with the NBPA's thinking and arbitration process said that the argument that a sponsor introduction counts as salary cap circumvention likely would not survive. One of the sources said that's dead on arrival, quote unquote. They're talking about the Timberwolves thing. The physical evidence of under the table agreement helped establish. This is Joe Smith. Back to the Clippers. One league insider with direct knowledge of the league's business said a salary cap circumvention penalty based on a player's introduction is a, quote, an outrageous overreach, and that it's the job of the player's agents to ask for introductions to sponsors and potential endorsers. The person also said the league punishes the Clippers for introducing, if the league punishes the Clippers for introducing a player to the team sponsor, it will be felt across the league, and players and their management won't stand for it. Introductions between team sponsors and players are common around the NBA, according to owners and other league executives who have spoken to ESPN. There's also something that the league itself has encouraged. Let me see. Hold on. All right, here's a deck. This is a long read. So I'm trying to figure out the stuff that's important here, okay, in real time. In a slide on a 24-25 deck for teams regarding, quote, business of basketball obtained by ESPN, the league lists best practices for successful strategies shared by teams from previous seasons. Quote, identify what players are talking about or commenting on around the facility. The first point reads, for example, if a player have noticed a new sponsor on the court or their jersey but aren't familiar with what the company does, you might consider facilitating a dialogue with an executive from the company to talk about their business and their relationship with the team. Another slide regarding ideas for players initiative suggests bring in a member of the team partner, either corporate sponsor or community organization, to discuss the impact that player appearances have on their organization. If teams are approached by business partners or third parties regarding a potential business relationship with the player, the rule states, according to a copy of the manual obtained by ESPN, teams should respond solely by providing the third party with contact information for the player and or his agent. Ballmer told ESPN in 2025 the team, quote, found the email that makes the first introduction. The introduction got made, and they were off to the races on their own. We weren't involved. I eventually learned that they had reached a deal. I have no idea what the deal was. And then it talks about Leonard to the Raptors. Two sources with direct knowledge of the situation say Leonard has maintained to the NBPA, the league, and Wachtell Lipton, the league's attorneys, that he had no involvement in salary cap circumvention, that so far conversations around potential consequences have centered on him paying restitution for potential improper benefits from the Clippers, such as travel and lodging for his representatives and Uncle Dennis Robertson. If the case goes to arbitration, the arbiter could compel document production, witness testimony, and order discovery. After hearing, the arbiter's ruling would be subject to an appeal by a panel made up of 3 people jointly appointed by the NBA and the Players Association. The appeal panel decision is binding at that point. So if they go to an arbiter and he has a decision, they can appeal one more time to this 3-person tribunal, and then that process is binding. Only after the process could Silver be authorized to issue any potential punishment. So this is not done. This is going to go to arbitration, if I had to guess, if it doesn't get settled beforehand.
So here's, of everything you just read, and I know you read a lot of stuff there, Here's the big standout paragraph for me. Listen to this. Ballmer has insisted repeatedly in conversations with confidants that he will not accept. Listen to that. Just listen to the way it's being reported.
Correct.
He will not accept league results that asserts he or the team intended to circumvent the salary cap and would instead bring the matter to arbitration. So the point is that Ballmer is telling people close to him, according to the reporting, in no way will I accept this ruling. No chance. And if I have to, I'll bring the matter to arbitration. Because in Ballmer's case, you're the richest owner in the NBA. The NBA doesn't want to embarrass themselves. They don't want to screw over one of the richest guys and create all kinds of litigation. By the way, they forced the Clippers to sell because the previous owner was a bad guy. Now you've got a good guy, or so we all assume, who may have made some bad decisions, or at least his organization made bad decisions. Don't you hear everything in this reporting is Ballmer didn't do this, Ballmer didn't do that? It sounds to me like he may not have been personally involved, because when you're that rich, you have lots of other people to shield you. Other people take the swords.
Well,
they take the arrows.
This was the conversation you and I had the other day, Greg, when Cappy wasn't around, that I said, why does he have to be directly involved? He could just, there's, to Cappy's point, there's so many other people that could be linked to this, and that's a harder trail to go down, is what I would say.
But listen, again, I've watched every one of these Pablo Torre podcasts. I'm not here to tell you that everything that Pablo Torre 100% says is gospel. All I'm saying is he's laid out a very compelling case. And when you're the NBA and you go out and hire a law firm and you've got the richest guy saying, I will absolutely not accept any assertion at all that I circumvented the salary cap, what does that set up for? It sets up for the league to battle with its richest owner, who it doesn't matter how much money it costs. It costs $500 million of legal fees, and Steve Ballmer can take that out of his pocket in cash. So the money is not an issue for him. So he will fight till his death to prove that he didn't do anything wrong, whether he did or he didn't, because he doesn't want people to think he's a bad guy. And look, is it commonplace for an NFL team or an NBA team to say, hey, look, I've got a star player. This star player is our quarterback. There's a local car dealership or there's a national brand. Hey, we would like to do business with your quarterback. We want to do business with your star player on the basketball floor. Is it commonplace for the league, or for the team to make introductions between the player and his personnel and the brand itself? Of course it's commonplace. Yes, of course it is. But what isn't commonplace is to have an owner invest money into a company that then becomes an endorser or has an endorsement relationship with the player, and the company is fraudulent and people are going to jail, and 2 + 2 looks like they got him to invest money, then they gave the money to the player. That's what it looks like, and that was what the accusations were. But for Ballmer, as the richest owner in basketball, to say, I will not stand for this, and then the league goes out and hires their own lawyers, it's as if the league hired lawyers to prove that he was not involved. I don't know. I still don't buy it. I'm not buying it at all. I don't care what's being reported. I'm not buying it. Now, again, natural-born skeptic, kind of cynical, not buying it.
So Pablo Torre just tweeted and he said, when the time is right, I am extremely, extremely excited for our episode about this.
All right, Pablo, go get him. It just, listen, again, in hearing you read that story, and you're talking about some incredibly reputable reporters from ESPN, they are reporting to us, what the league is saying. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you believe them? Do you trust them?
Correct. It's not about the reporters. It's about the information.
Correct. The reporters are reporting what they've got. What they've got is a story that says the NBA says, hey, look, we're good. We don't think Ballmer had anything to do with it. We've done an investigation, and there's no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Kawhi Leonard. That's what the league is putting out there. That is what the law firm that was hired by the league is putting out there for public consumption. But for me, I listen to all that and I go, I still don't believe it. And listen, I'm not telling you that Steve Ballmer called Kawhi Leonard and said, hey, Kawhi, good news, man. I just put $50 million into this company, and guess what? They're giving it to you. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that It all seems to be very odd. The aspiration thing, you might have gotten past that. This Daktronics thing, that sounds even more fishy. Because what scoreboard company do you know that hires a star player to do nothing when it's supposed to be an endorsement? Endorse to what? What are you trying to get scoreboards sold to your local high school football team? And Kawhi Leonard is the conduit between that? Come on. That's nonsense. If you told me today, make a bet, who's right, who's wrong, money's on Pablo rather than the NBA's law firm.
It'll be interesting to see, man. Like, I am genuinely curious. This is going to feel like this is going to go on for a long, long time because Pablo's going to keep putting more information out there. And I think that but again, Greg and I had this conversation when you were out, Cappy. It's going to be really hard to pin down Ballmer, particularly.
Oh, I agree. But
think fall
about
guys.
Oh, yes, you're right. There'll be fall guys.
Lawrence Frank, you're up.
Just say this, though. Isn't it weird how the Clippers owner is the richest guy in sports, and he's involved in this mess, and the Lakers were sold for $10 billion and then resold for $12.5 in under a year, and their owner is in a giant mess where he's got to sell the Lakers because it's starting to look like he needs the money, and now he's selling, what's the name of the soccer club? Is it Chelsea? Is that
Chelsea
what you guys
FC,
said?
and by the way,
Yeah.
Clear Lake Capital is a global alternative investment solutions firm.
Oh, that helps. Now we understand what they are.
It's just known for strategic partnerships and capabilities across private equity, credit, and liquid strategies.
Cappy hangs out with all these private equity guys at Del Mar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're all around. They're helping buy horses, but there's no improprieties there. I ain't funneling any money to Kawhi Leonard.
What are you talking about? You're using the whole horses as a shelter, a Schwan shelter.
So
But
Clear
come
Lake,
on.
and by the way, just for before you get back to that, Clear Lake owns 60% of Chelsea FC, and Ballmer owns the other portion. They're trying
Not
to sell.
Ballmer.
Sorry, Walter.
Mhm.
Boley and Walter are trying to sell their shares back to Clear Lake, where they've clashed over
Mhm.
strategy.
Okay. Well, again, the Lakers ownership in flux and certainly looks kind of dirty. And Clippers ownership looks kind of dirty, allegedly, according to all this reporting. You got the two LA basketball teams, one that nobody cares about, but just becomes a sexy, interesting story, and the other one that everybody cares about, and that one is a bizarre story. How is this happening at the same time? Ballmer, Mark Walter, Bob Iger. Did we ever really think we were going to put those three names together? Very strange. Very weird. Good read, by the way, George. Nice reading. I mean,
Remember, it wasn't that long ago that we thought Bob Iger was going to run for president, and that he would have had a good shot, too.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, we'll get to the calendar thing now.
All right.
Let's see if we can bring some positivity to these guys.
Time for the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff calendar of the day for Monday, August 17th, 2026. Don't forget to have fun. Realizing your dreams, whatever they are, can be a blast. It's certainly enjoyable to feel financially secure, but it's even more so true to use your mind, attitude, charm, wisdom, and genuine kindness to create a great abundance in all aspects of your life. Like Cappy does. He has horses, he's making burgers at 11:30 at night.
With mustard on them?
With mustard.
You didn't have carne asada with your
No carne
burgers?
asada in the house. My bad, everybody. My bad.
We did try to get Mexican burritos, but the place was closed.
Yeah, we were going to do that.
And we had a Russian driver that couldn't speak English.
No, he spoke no English at all. None, zero.
That was the whole thing, too.
Yeah,
Not
that
my
was another
driver
part
back
of
to L.A., but the driver around Cardiff by the Sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't speak a lick of English, that guy.
Time for the
Couldn't
dealer's choice. Time for the dealer's choice real deal. Brought to you by Sellers Advantage. Want to sell your house? Before you call an agent, call Sellers Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-as-is for a no-obligation offer or visit sellersadvantage.com. Providence Realty, DRE 01915212. Cappy.
Hey, George, I'll tell you, man, I was having a hell of a weekend. It all started on Friday. We documented. We took the Yachtly crew to Del Mar, won 2 races on the same day, which has never happened before. Incredible. To have the band there, to have Chris and Stephanie there, to see that it's not, you didn't just come for horse racing. We were winners. It started off with such a great weekend. Saturday was a terrific day, beautiful weather, everything was terrific. And then yesterday, from out of nowhere, all of a sudden we start to see behind Rachel's house black smoke billowing up through the canyon. Listen, we've lived in this area, and I used to live in this area. I don't live there anymore, but Rachel still does. And there's a canyon behind her house. I've never seen flames come up over the canyon. So I want to send a shout out to CAL FIRE. What these people do is truly amazing. There must have been 4 or 5 planes in the air dropping retardant all over this fire. Because if this thing takes a turn, thousands of homes could have been wiped out. They also probably had about 5 helicopters in the air. I don't know how they coordinate. I don't know how they communicate. But, George, what made it even more difficult was not just that they had to take the planes down into the canyon, so they're flying real low. These are big-ass planes, too. Yeah. But there were electrical wires all throughout the canyon. So not only were you having to deep dive down into the canyon to put down retardant and water, but also you had to avoid these power lines because this could have turned into a disaster. And I'm watching all of these planes and helicopters fly around, and it was really an incredible thing to watch, like a sporting event. I'm not joking. It was like sitting at the 50-yard line. And then there's a golf course right down the hill. The helicopters would go down to the golf course, and they would suck water out of the lakes at the golf course and then bring the water up to the fire, which is probably only about 1.5 miles away, and they would dump the water on the fire, and then you would start to see the white smoke, intimating that, it was being extinguished. So to everybody who's out there who's a first responder, cops, EMTs, firefighters certainly, CAL FIRE, the sheriff's department, everybody who was a part of taking care of this yesterday. Look at this, George. Look at the video of the helicopter pulling the water out of the lake at a golf course, a mile or 2 down the road. To everybody from CAL FIRE who put this fire out yesterday over the course of probably 6 hours or so, spectacular work, everybody. You guys don't get nearly enough credit. You certainly don't get paid enough money. You guys are heroes, and you saved literally thousands of homes yesterday. And I got to sit there and watch the entire thing. So I just wanted to send a shout-out to all those people.
Shout out.
Great job, Cappy. 10:01. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, for a Live Imaging Tuesday presented by Provident. Cappy and Sedano, reply to the last text I sent in the group chat, please, so we can square that away for the week, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The bomber's gonna get away with it, and Mark Walter's not gonna get away. He's gonna sell everything, even the Dodgers. It's all a mess here in LA. We're just gonna have to live with it.